So the bottom line is you'll be attending 3 meetings today, albeit the longest ones. Luna Ann grimaces at me in the vanity mirror while I am getting my hair done. It's just a ponytail, but I guess a royal ponytail requires 2 types of hairbrushes, a comb, 2 different types of hairspray, and special elastics to hold it in place. Permanently, I just smile and give a non-committal sound, not wanting the hairdresser to have to start over. I have been primped and prepped for almost 45 minutes. I don't want to have to sit here any longer than necessary. I have to admit, I look better than I thought I would. The makeup artist didn't go overboard with the caked-on makeup. She accentuated my gray-blue eyes with a smoky blend of grays and blacks. But it doesn't look like some of the pictures I've seen where girls end up looking like they got punched. She did add lash extensions to the outsides of my eyes since my lashes are blonde. She said she wouldn't have to use as much mascara that way, and I tucked that little bit of info into my memory for later. She put a rosy pink color on my cheeks and finished off with a gloss that had a pink tint to it. When they were both done, I just stared at myself for a minute. I still looked like me, but better, older, definitely more put together. You are beautiful, sweet girl. Now, let's get you dressed. I think for the first meeting we should go in a warmer color, start out strong and bright. My eyebrows raised at her. There is just as much strategy in what you wear as there is in planning an attack, especially with all of these people. She matches her eyebrow with my own. You will change after each meeting too. Why is that? I'm not trying to argue. This is what you do, so I trust you, no matter how ridiculous I think it is. I quickly defend my question. Female politics were a whole new world for me, and I am discovering far more ruthless than men with soldiers. First, depending on how many people come to these meetings, now that we are introducing everyone's kid and using it as training. She rolls her eyes. You are going to get sweaty and uncomfortable, even in these outfits which are designed to not show any of that. It also gives us an excuse to step away from everyone and just take a break. Otherwise, you would get none and be grilled by these vultures all day. I nod in understanding. It's all tactical strategy. I can work with it. My first outfit is a bright maroon jumpsuit that is so soft and silky I could probably sleep in it. The pants were wide all the way down with a sharp crease down the front and the back. There was a wide band of the same material going around the torso like a corset, leading up to just above my barely there cleavage, where a band of material was threaded through the keyhole at the top of the bodice to create a halter look. The straps that went over my shoulders were wide and sturdy and comfortable. They wrapped around to attach to the bodice just under my arms, so all my bits were tastefully covered. Luna Ann has a thing for open back outfits on me. The straps from the halter are the only material on my back, and the pants tastefully come up to my hips, so at least my butt won't hang out. But it's all skin beyond that. She finishes the outfit off with a pane of matching maroon wedges. I feel like I could exercise in this outfit. It's amazing. I can't help but turn and smile at her. She gives me some bracelets and earrings to finish off the look, and then walks me to the mirror so I can see the whole thing. Oh, wow. I didn't realize I could look like this. I look at her in the mirror. You've always looked like this, sweet girl. We've just accentuated a few things. This way, Xander will have to do some work too, huh? He's going to have his hands full keeping interested men away from you as much as you are going to keep the gold diggers away from him. My mouth drops at her blunt honesty. Now, we should head down. We are starting with a brunch and meet and greet before the first meeting. And you are going to want to be fully nourished to put up with some of these guys. As we step out of her suite, Barty, Xander, and the Alpha King are waiting for us. I can't wait until they let me have the warrior brand, and I can mind link with everyone here. It's kind of quiet for my wolf, and I in my head. I didn't realize I enjoyed the chaos of the dull hum of voices constantly in my head. You look wonderful, little one. Maybe some of these elders will be so mesmerized into silence, We will actually get some things accomplished this morning. Alpha Reggie smiles at me. And you are beautiful as always, my dear. I see you are going for a power move, early matching Skylar. He chuckles a little, stepping in to give her a kiss on the temple. Luna Ann's outfit is also maroon, but in a deeper shade. It's a dress that ends in a form-fitting pencil skirt and paired with a cropped, long-sleeved jacket that has some navy threads woven into it. It's a power suit. She looks ready for public speaking and to take on a bunch of old men. Alpha Reggie holds out his arm for her, and Xander does the same for me, and we head down the hallway toward the elevators. This feels like a parade, and I'm getting more and more nervous as we get closer to the elevator doors. Barty steps in with another warrior, and the rest of us just stand here. We must go down in small groups to make an entrance. When it comes back a few minutes later, 2 more warriors step in, and Xander leads me with him. I didn't even see these warriors when we came out of Luna Ann's suite. They are very discreet. I want to watch them work, but I have to keep reminding myself I have a job to do, and it's bigger than I expected. As we travel the couple floors, Xander lets my arm go and reaches in his pocket to pull out a small box. This is for you, and before you freak out, it's from all of us. He opens the lid and a set of silver bracelets are stacked together. They are all small, solid cuff-like bracelets, each with a different gem placed at one end. It's all their colors. My heart clenches at the thought. They are reaching out even this far apart. They were all intrigued that you were going to be attending this conference with me, and wanted to make sure that I, and everyone else, knew that you have a handful of friends out there laying claim to you. I couldn't help but laugh. He helped me add them to the bracelets Luna Ann gave me. These are amazing. I love them. Whose idea was it? I quirked an eyebrow at him. To get you something or the bracelets specifically? Never mind. Based on that answer, I know. I hold my hand up to stop him, the bracelets clinking as they slide up my arm. The minute you told them I was coming with you and was going to be paraded around, Oliver and Dakota decided that I needed something to imply I was taken. Cameron probably came up with the idea of the bracelets since I really don't like any other kind of jewelry. Sam probably suggested the colored stones, which is an inside joke, so I would know it's from them, and my brother, trying to make up for lost time, had the inside of his inscribed. How close was I? His jaw dropped. With the exception of mine, spot on. You know your guys well. He smiled at me. Well, you, having slightly more knowledge on my situation than the guys, probably waited until they all had theirs done, and then got the bracelet that was slightly wider, but enough to notice just to piss them off. And you were bringing them to me, so they had no say in how I got them. Xander openly laughs at me, just as the elevator stops. You have us all pegged. Remind me not to get on your bad side. You can probably detect weaknesses in your sleep. He holds his elbow at me to take. You ready for the circus? Is anyone ever actually ready for this? Probably not. You just have to get really good at pretending, he says, leaning to whisper in my ear as we walk out. I can already see scowls on many of the faces. I may need to carry a weapon on me for extra protection. We don't need any weapons. I was just thinking I really don't want to destroy this outfit. I actually kind of like it. If any of these B-teaches try anything, we have a pretty strong aura to dish out. We'll start with that and get less nice as we need to. I love that my wolf can calm my nerves so quickly. I don't know why I need reminding that I am a strong wolf. I train harder than most people and can defend myself. It's just years of conditioning to appear small and invisible that I need to break out of. And apparently, Alpha Reggie and Luna Ann are going to force me to break out of it sooner rather than later. We step out and to the side of the elevator, waiting on the king and queen. We are in the main entrance area I came in through last week. I was right. It's designed to hold hordes of people. As I look around, the people here are milling about, conversing, and just waiting for the real show to begin. Some look friendly and jovial, and others look downright cutthroat, like they are plotting as we stand here. The outside of the castle has an old-world charm to it, with the natural stonework and cathedral windows. But the inside is all modern. The floor is a pattern of white and black marble. I can't quite tell what the pattern is for here, but I bet it's amazing from the balcony. I'm able to look at the artwork and tapestries hung better this time. Since the last time I passed through her, Xander was dragging me along like a puppy. Before I can get too lost in my thoughts, though, a beautiful blonde woman about Xander's age walks up to us. She doesn't even acknowledge me, but places her hand familiarly on the shoulder of the arm I am attached to, clearly being cut out of the conversation she wants to have with Xander. "Prince Alexander, it's been so long. I've missed seeing you around. Have you been training all this time?" Blondie bats her eyes at him and has this simpering look that I think is supposed to be pouty or playful, but just looks weird on her face. Xander takes a small step back, pulling me with him, but effectively getting Blondie to drop her hand. I spent most of my time this summer with Skylar and her pack. He indicates me on his arm, and now she can't pretend she doesn't see me. "Oh, you are such a tiny thing. I didn't even see you there. I hope Alexander did a great job protecting you and your pack." She moves to turn back to him and ignores me, but I let my irritation show a bit. Xander actually came to work with me this summer. He and Alpha Reggie are working on some training protocols and wanted my input. I smile at her sweetly. Her eyes go wide for a moment, but I'm not sure at which part of my comment. It could have been the familiar way I used Xander and the Alpha King's name, with no correction from Xander, or that I implied they came to me for help. Either way, her expression is one I won't forget soon. "I didn't know you were going by a nickname now, Xander. I like it. It's sexy." She purrs at him. "I'm not. It's Prince Alexander to you. Skylar has special privileges." He looks at me and winks, before turning us around to watch the elevator open with the king and queen stepping out gracefully. We move to follow them, leaving Blondie standing there staring in disbelief. "You do realize how much bigger you made the target on me, right?" I lean in to whisper to him. "Your target was already placed when you stepped out of that elevator on my arm. No reason not to have fun with the situation." He's leaning in close, but looking me in the eye. Then he shoots a quick look over my shoulder, not moving his face, then looks back at me and smiles a wicked smile. "What are you up to?" I ask skeptically, having a pretty good idea who he's looking at. "Nothing I wasn't given permission to do," he mutters before kissing me on the cheek, but far too close to my lips for my comfort. It's not that it was bad, but it feels wrong somehow. I know he's flirting to keep people away from the both of us, but I don't know if I can reciprocate. Maybe it's because I know we are related now, or just that I know he isn't my mate. And that's something he should save for her. I have to suck it up and play this part, though. That is my job, my assignment. I'm sure as I move through warrior training, my assignments are going to get far more complicated than this. I can't let my personal opinions and emotions cloud the work I have to complete. Xander effortlessly moves me through the large room into a ballroom setup with round tables covered in white linen tablecloths and gold chairs. I wasn't sure what I expected, but this semi-informal buffet-style breakfast wasn't it. I figured leaders of this caliber would want or expect table service. But I also understand the practicality of this setup. Xander leads me to the line behind his parents, and we begin filling our plates, and then head to a long rectangular table at the head of the room seated under a stained glass window that spans the full wall, letting in copious amounts of morning light. I must have stopped and stared for a little too long, as Alpha Reggie comes up and startles me while I'm lost in the beauty of the glass. This depicts the great war that prompted the moon goddess to declare alpha kings and their territories. Even with ranks and hierarchy built into our way of life, there was always someone who wanted power without earning it. He looked pointedly at me, and I nodded in understanding. It was still a problem today. but with the Alpha Kings having a common goal to keep the peace and keep our secret from humans. They were always willing to step in and help when a bigger problem arose, avoiding another war like this. He raised his arm and guided me to a chair next to Xander at the head table. "You seem to be doing well so far. No trouble, I take it?" he asks as he pulls my chair out for me to sit. I look at Xander for a moment, then back to Alpha Reggie. "No trouble, but the pissing matches have already begun." I giggled, and Xander almost choked on his water. "Let me guess. Was it Chandler or Grunyun?" Alpha Reggie takes his seat next to Xander as he asks, "Chandler's daughter." We weren't even off the elevator yet. Her claws have gotten sharper since the last time I had to put up with her. Xander mumbles, just loud enough for the four of us to hear. There's plenty of conversation going on in the room, and it must be an unspoken rule that no one approaches the head table while the king and queen are eating. But that doesn't stop the looks and following conversations that have been happening since we entered. Today is going to be long and exhausting. Once Alpha Reggie is done eating, Omegas clear our plates, and he stands to give an opening speech, directing people to specific places in the palace with an undertone of "these are the only places you are allowed, and times for the first meetings to start." Just before I get up, an Omega hands me a beautiful leather portfolio that has my name embossed in gold on the front. I thank her and smile, which earns me a tiny smile and wide eyes of confusion. Do people not use manners with the staff who work here? "My name is Sophie, Miss Skylar. I'll be your assistant today. Let me know if you need anything at all." She smiles warmly at me. She is close to my age, maybe 12 or 13. She is quiet, but I don't get the feeling that she is shy, just well-mannered. "It's nice to meet you, Sophie. I'm glad to have a kind female near me today." She giggles, but quickly schools it, like she isn't allowed. "Some of the women can be a handful." She shrugs, like that is the most normal thing in the world. "First, please tell me if I'm being a handful. Your job is to assist me, not wait on me hand and foot. Second, tell me what I'm holding. This is my first time here, and I'm not trying to make a fool of myself in front of these people." I smile at her, and she takes a deep breath. I walk next to Xander, and Sophie is just behind my right shoulder, whispering in my ear, explaining my schedule for the day. Like Alpha Reggie said, I would be attending the 3 biggest meetings today. I guess some other meetings are set up to talk about treaties or territory lines and patrols between territories. This is neutral territory, and mediators are present so the negotiations don't get out of hand. I will be attending everything with Xander and Alpha Reggie today. First up is the distribution of warriors amongst the packs in the kingdom to help train smaller packs to defend themselves. I guess there has been a shortage, but now that I know about this rogue king and his attacks on packs surrounding the royal territory, I understand why the Alpha King is reluctant to send warriors away. We need assistance, now. What is the royal pack prepared to do if we are attacked? Every pack surrounding us has had an attack in the last 3 years. It's only a matter of time before we are attacked. A grisly old man all but shouts directly at the king. Apparently, some formalities are left outside this room. I take a deep breath and let it out slowly. This man has spent the better part of 20 minutes asking for help and demanding help, but not actually saying what he has done as a leader in his pack to make things better or to be prepared. It sounds like he wants to be the damsel in distress and to just be saved without doing any of the work. My impression is that he has watched too many Disney movies. I stifled a little laugh at the thought, but clearly didn't do a good enough job since Grizzleface glares at me, then looks back at the king with a raised eyebrow. Again, waiting for the king to do something about the situation. Alpha Arthur Breck of the Iron Tooth Pack. Meet Skylar Macon, one of the lead warriors of the Blue Crescent Pack. I believe Skylar has some thoughts on your situation. Alpha Reggie says calmly, almost bored. There's no way she is a lead warrior of any pack. She's so tiny and she's just a child. He basically spits at me, and as much as it makes my blood boil, I keep my calm. He won't bait me into acting like the child he thinks I am. As uncomfortable as I'm sitting in this room talking about training and warriors, this is my wheelhouse. This is what I do best, calm under pressure in a complicated situation. I ignore his comment about my age and size. That isn't something that will be reasoned with, so it's a non-issue. I have a few questions. Alpha Breck. First, you have asked for assistance, but not mentioned what you and your warriors are currently doing to prevent and protect against an attack. How do you expect anyone to proceed with assistance if they have no idea what type of situation they are walking into? Second, you are surrounded on 3 sides by very prominent packs, and if memory serves, all of their attacks were on the opposite sides from your territory. I point to a sprawling map that is painted into the gigantic circular table we are sitting at. I would know, because my warriors and myself had to travel through your pack to lend assistance. So much for not raising to his bait. Oh well, watching him squirm is even better than I thought. I just sit in silence along with everyone else after my questions. I see the recognition in the eyes of the warrior standing behind him. He at least remembers me. We didn't have to actually fight, but we did run patrols while their warriors were tended to and healing. I scheduled the patrol routes myself with Gamma Brett and Delta Kyle. I thought you looked familiar. The warrior behind Alpha Breck spoke up, getting a glare from his alpha, but cutting the tension a bit. I just nod my head and wait for my questions to be answered, which are more than likely going to come from this warrior than the alpha. He was clearly having a conversation over the mind link with his alpha now, and some kind of agreement was struck as the warrior looked back at me. We have maintained the patrol routes that your team set up for us, but we have few warriors and they are spread thin, patrolling the whole of the territory, and we have the beach side of the territory to think of. We do not have the high vantage point that your pack does to maintain a good visual out to the sea. That was something I knew because I pointed it out. Delta Kyle and Gamma Brett also suggested watchtowers be constructed to give them a better vantage point. Something that hasn't happened if they are still bringing it up. Did you construct the watchtowers as suggested by my Gamma and Delta? I know the answer, but this Alpha is being a DX, and I feel the necessity to put him in his place. Have you trained your pack members to defend themselves? Also a suggestion by my Gamma and Delta? I almost forgot other people were in the room. My only reminder is the gentle shake of Xander's shoulder next to me. Is he laughing? I turn just slightly so I can make eye contact. He leans to whisper in my ear. You are amazing. This guy is a pain in the ass at the best of times. I've never seen him this flustered. I just roll my eyes at him and fight a smile. We haven't had the opportunity to complete those projects yet. The warrior answers me, looking awkward. Haven't had the opportunity or chosen not to do them? If you want help and assistance, you have to show that you are willing to put in just as much effort. Each pack here has their own situations to deal with. The point of the Kingdom's alliance is to assist, not do the work for another pack. Training your pack members, all of them, should be your first priority. They don't need to be elite warriors, but having the confidence to defend themselves and their families and get to safety is non-negotiable. The plans for your watchtowers were drawn up for you. All that needed to be done was construct them. That is your second priority. Once those things are done, then come and ask for additional assistance. I emphasize the word, and we can move forward from there. I have no idea what got into me, but Alpha Reggie and Warrior Osistin didn't stop me, so I put a finality to the conversation and then looked to them for what to do next as I came out of the haze that clouded me while I was putting this Alpha in his place. What I saw was not what I expected. I expected shock or horror or disapproval at my speaking out and over them, basically. They both had the biggest smile on their faces, and Luna Ann gave me a wink. I took a look around the room at the rest of the Alphas and their entourage, including some of the daughters I was warned about. Varying looks of disbelief, Surprise, disgust, and fear littered all their faces, and I just wanted to sink into my chair, feeling like I made a spectacle of myself. I was just here to offer my opinions, not take over a discussion, no matter how much Alpha Breck deserved to have his pompous ass told off. I looked down at my portfolio, looking at the schedule I have basically memorized, but needing something to do. Don't shy away now, you just owned this room. They at least know why you're here now, and it's not as my arm candy. You earned your seat at this table, unlike many of the people standing around the room. Although, speaking of arm candy, we need to get a picture and send it to the guys, 'cause I am going to torture the shy tea out of them, with you looking this good on my arm, and not theirs. I snap my eyes to him and can't help the smile that breaks out on my face to match his. He is trying to help me have fun in this very unfun situation. I'm sure your torture of them began long before now, if their gift is any indication. I whisper back, touching the multitude of bracelets. He just gets this smile that reminds me of Sam, when he is up to no good and ready to take everyone around him down his path of troublemaking. Before I can get lost in that train of thought, though, Alpha Reggie speaks up. Well, Alpha Breck, it sounds like you have your assignments. Come back to us when you have completed your tasks. Let's take a break before we reconvene. I believe a few other packs have requests for training and warrior assistance. He looked pointedly at each alpha sitting at the table, letting them know they were going to get the same treatment as Alpha Breck. Xander stood and helped me from my chair, and we followed his parents to a small chamber off of the conference room. While the rest of the alphas and their people filed out the door, we entered. Perks of living here is you get to use all of the fun secret rooms. Alpha Reggie laughed as a warrior closed the door behind us. That was spectacular. I need to bring you in more often. Alpha Breck is usually difficult and likes to monopolize the conversation, as you saw. He also likes to ask for more than what he actually needs, just to see what he can get. I didn't realize that it was your pack that led the relief assistance for those attacks. I nodded in agreement. It was the first time Gamma Brett and Delta Kyle let me go outside the pack with the warriors. I don't even know if my father and brother know I was a part of that team. We obviously had to get permission to cross Alpha Breck's territory, and he was slow to give it, even though he never actually came to meet us. That's why his warrior recognized me and not him. We helped the surrounding packs come up with their patrols and work together while the cleanup and recovery went on. The damage was pretty severe in the Shadow Pack, and it lessened the further south it moved along the borders of the Moon Valley Pack, and the Eclipse Pack towards the Royal Pack. It was like a mushroom top of destruction that didn't extend too deep into the packs themselves. But that land was destroyed and any structures close to the borders were demolished. The Iron Tooth Pack had nothing to worry about based on the evidence. I just think Alpha Breck wanted the attention the other packs were getting. So we did what we were doing with the rest of the packs: damage control and cleanup and plans for training and protection. He obviously was under the wrong impression if he thought Royal Pack warriors came in and stayed to run patrol details and rebuild buildings. I laughed a little at the thought. Well, we will have to check in with Eclipse and Moon Valley and see if they have implemented your strategies. Alpha Reggie takes a few notes in his portfolio. We each grab a drink and use the private restrooms to freshen up. Luna Ann has her hair and makeup artists ready to touch me up when I come out. Once I am deemed satisfactory, we head back out to the room, where almost everyone is waiting. Alpha Breck's seat is empty, so he is either annoyed at the outcome of his request, or he is planning to make a grand entrance and wants to come in after the king to feel more important. My second assumption was right. Not a minute after the king had sat down, he walked in with, I assume, his son, looking all too happy to keep us waiting. Alpha Reggie was having none of his shenanigans, and started speaking to the alphas of Moon Valley and Eclipse before Alpha Breck could take a seat or be acknowledged. Alpha Reggie asked about the improvements and repairs, and both alphas spoke volumes about the assistance they received from my pack, and how well things have been going. They even thanked me personally and asked me to pass on my thanks to my Alpha for lending the assistance and to my Gamma and Delta for all of the help on the ground. I couldn't help but smile at them in return. This is why I want to be a warrior, to help those who need it. It's not about the praise, but the looks of pride on their faces means everything. The rest of the day was less eventful, and admittedly more fun. Alpha Breck avoided me like it was his job, but there were curious stares from everyone else. The battle strategies meeting was by far my favorite. I took more notes than I thought possible of all the contingencies that had to be thought of for the kingdom at large, and then for each individual pack. Because of how our kingdom was situated with many of the packs having ocean access, our defensive strategies varied wildly from those who were surrounded by land on all sides. I did find out about an area of land the elders called No Man's Land that seems to not be populated by anyone from our kingdom or the surrounding kingdoms. But there was speculation of rogues taking up residence there, but in hiding. Alpha Reggie said that the other kings and himself decided that as long as the rogues keep to themselves, they don't see the harm. But the land is heavily monitored because of the recent attacks, and everyone wants to blame a rogue. We had a late lunch after the second round of meetings, but Luna Ann and I had to go do a wardrobe change. Apparently, we had to wear a different outfit to each meal. I didn't argue because they left my hair and makeup alone and still allowed me to wear pants. This time, I was in an emerald green 3-piece suit. The material looked stiff and unforgiving, but was actually very comfortable. The pants were tapered to fit tight at my ankle, where I wore a matching green set of thick-heeled booties. The vest served as a top under the suit jacket. What made it a little extra was it was made like a halter-style corset. It fit tight and gave my figure even more definition than I actually had. The bottom of the vest wrapped around my low back, again leaving most of it exposed if I chose to take off the fitted jacket. This time, Xander did make me take a photo with him, with and without the jacket, before we even went down to the ballroom. He didn't even hesitate to fire them off to the guys, which resulted in the both of us laughing at their responses through the whole of lunch. The final meeting we attended was with the elders and the warriors connected with the safety of the royal pack. This room is smaller with a long rectangular table to seat the couple dozen people allowed in the room. We have heard all day of the varying attacks that seem to be testing our border protection as individual packs and as a kingdom. As we have gathered information, the attacks seem to be similar enough that we should assume it is from the same group. We do not have any confirmation that it is rogues, but we hope it isn't another pack or kingdom. At this point, we need to plan for both options. Warrior Nicholas starts. We have been given some ideas for updates to our own border and territory patrols and contingency plans to keep our pack members safe in the event of an attack. Warrior Assistant chimes in, then clicks a button and a screen opens up from the far side of the room. The picture is a schematic of the castle and surrounding areas, complete with a 3D image of what the inside of the mountain looks like and what appears to be escape tunnels from different portions of the territory. All the different ideas we had talked about on Alpha Lucas's patio what seems like forever ago. The only people privy to this knowledge are sitting in this room now. There are different reports of what the safety protocols are for the royal pack, and those rumors can keep circulating. This keeps any enemy guessing as to what we are fully capable of. Nicholas begins, but is interrupted by one of the elders who I have forgotten the name of. But he has been in the not happy about my presence with Xander team all day. What about the young lady? How do we know she won't be swayed to give out information if a smooth talking boy comes along? Or what if she is captured and tortured? The little thing wouldn't last 5 minutes. Warrior Osistin clears his throat to stop the elder, and probably to keep me in my seat, 'cause I am about ready to jump over this table and show him what I am made of. There is nothing I can do about my size, but I am done with it being brought up over and over again today, like it is my fatal flaw. First, Elder Sam, She is an elite warrior, and as a warrior, what she has had to endure and survive is beyond your comprehension. Second, she is the one who destroyed the original safety plans the elders had in place and single-handedly came up with what you are looking at now, with multiple contingencies. It is safe to say she can be trusted. I got another disbelieving look from some, but not all the elders as they looked at the image on the screen with the new knowledge that it was my idea. I couldn't pay any attention to them, though, as warriors Osistin and Nicholas went through the 3D model explaining what the build-out plan would look like and how we would keep it a secret. I was in awe of how they took something as simple as my words and demonstration with patio utensils and made it into this amazing thing. I could see where they enhanced ideas that I had vaguely touched on and added things I never thought to. The collaboration was incredible, and it made my heart swell to know I was a part of something so important. When our third meeting was over, we had some time to kill before dinner and then the ball, which seemed to be all the women talked about. Luna Ann was not wrong. The females are only here to be paraded around like prizes for the choosing. I can't imagine wanting to be with anyone other than my goddess-given mate, no matter what their rank is. But I also did not grow up like the rest of these girls, so I can't judge yet, no matter how hard I want to, given the looks I'm getting from them. I decided to take a walk in the halls that no one else was allowed in upstairs just to listen to silence, after all of the talking and noise. I am slowly walking, not really paying attention. I know there is a guard following me somewhere out of sight. He'll make sure I'm back where I need to be on time. All of the paintings and stained glass in the castle are fascinating. They depict times and places in our history that I'm sure I've read about, but there is nothing to indicate what they represent. So I'll have to ask Luna Ann to give me a real tour one of these days. As I'm admiring a painting of one of the Alpha Kings and his family, I hear a scuffle not far from me. There are several little nooks and alcoves to hide in up here. I'm sure that's by design for a quick getaway. I wouldn't be surprised if there are secret passageways too. I tried to ignore the sound. It could be one of the Omegas cleaning or someone else trying to sneak around up here. Either way, it's none of my business. Until the sound overpowers my discipline and my curiosity takes over. It sounds like a muted fight, like pushing and shoving, which can be so many things in a place like this. I finally get to a tapestry, where the shuffle is the loudest. There isn't really any talking, but definitely at least two people. I really should just walk away, but what if something bad is happening? Some of the guys here are creepy. I would feel terrible if I found out someone was taking advantage of one of the younger Omegas that works here. I take a deep breath and pull back the tapestry. Enough to be noticed, but not enough to expose whoever is back here, if it is innocent. "Skylar, what are you doing here?" Xander shouts, jumping away from a very nice-looking guy. Right around Xander's age, maybe a little younger. They both look disheveled. There is no question as to what was going on here. Xander's pristinely pressed suit is wrinkled, and his dress shirt is untucked in places. And his cheeks are flushed. But I don't know if that is from the activity or from being caught. "I'm so sorry, Xander. I heard noises and I wasn't sure what was going on, and no one else is supposed to be up here. So I thought maybe something was wrong." I trailed off, placing my hands on my cheeks, getting more and more embarrassed as I spoke. I'm sure my face was as bright red as Xander's. Hey. It's okay. I'm glad you came to check." He's smiling like an idiot. This is Oscar, my mate. He turns and looks at Oscar like they are the only two people in the room. I only found him a week ago. He's been touring the packs helping with training. His dad is our Royal Delta. I just nod, no idea how to respond to that. Then something clicks. Wait, is this why there is so much fuss over you finding a mate? Everyone is trying to mate you to a female since you're the prince? You weren't lying. She is quick. Oscar has a deep, soothing voice. It's instantly calming. It's something like that. Xander is 24. He should have found his mate. Or, in this case, mates, by now. But the moon goddess has plans, so here we are. Wait? Mates? As in more than one? How do you know there is more than one? They both smile at me. My mom has a direct link to the moon goddess, and when I passed my 22nd birthday with no sign or hint of a mate, she reached out to make sure there was nothing else we could or should be doing. The moon goddess said that my mates were coming and we should be patient. We assume our other mate is a female, since that would make the most sense since I need to produce an heir to continue the family line. But I am happy to have Oscar now. He reaches back to hold Oscar's hand. Obviously, we can't tell anyone. The elders would have a field day thinking I'm gay or bisexual. It's not really in their generational DNA, but they would also see it as another reason to push me to take a chosen mate. The problem is, with Oscar, the decision is no longer just mine, and we don't want anyone, but our chosen mate. Okay, so I keep playing buffer then. Works for me. I shrug, trying to play it off like it was no big deal that I walked in on their makeout session. Something I am very not comfortable with. I'm going to head over to Luna Ann's suite and start to get ready. Who knows how long they will need to prep me for this ball. I sigh at the thought, but turn quickly to go. I need to not be here right now. I understand the concept of hooking up. Goddess knows my brother and the rest of the guys do it plenty, but it has never been something on my radar. Boys are still not that kind of novelty for me. I don't know if there is something wrong with me, but I just don't understand the girls who fall all over themselves to get a guy's attention. Don't get me wrong, I can appreciate a good-looking guy like anyone else. I just never understood wanting to cross any of those lines with anyone who wasn't my mate. I was lost in thought as I walked into Luna Ann's suite. Perfect timing. I was just going to send Barty after you so we can get started. I can't wait. You are going to look amazing. Now go jump in the shower and use the special scrub that I put in there for you. Oh, and don't wash your hair. It will go up better with the product from this morning. I just stared at her. Being a girl is really complicated. Give me crack of dawn training in the rain and mud any day over all of this craziness. I mutter as I head to the bathroom, and all three ladies just laugh behind me like I am joking. But I'm not. This is borderline torture. Why can't I be like the guys and just put on a suit? Pull my hair back in a ponytail and call it a night. At least I don't have to go through the crazy Luna ceremony. I heard the one for the Luna Queen lasts a week and is just ritual after ritual and party after party. I don't even want to know how many wardrobe changes there would be for that, if I had to do 3 just for this elder conference today. Those thoughts took me into the shower where I found a scrub that had actual directions on how to use it properly. Apparently there are steps that I have to follow exactly to get my skin silky smooth. Why that has to be a thing, I have no idea. No one is going to put their hands on me except Xander, and I don't think I need to impress my gay cousin. That thought made me giggle out loud a little. Are you all right in there? Luna Ann questions me. Yeah, I just didn't know that body wash and scrubs could be this complicated. I half told the truth. She just laughed back at me. You really don't do any of the girly things, do you? I thought maybe you were just being shy. She calls back through the door. Nope, this is nothing I have ever experienced before. My nanny wasn't allowed to give me anything that might make me spoiled or ungrateful. And I've really only felt comfortable on the training field, and none of this stuff is necessary. It's okay though, right? We're not making you too uncomfortable, are we? I really never thought to ask how you feel about all of this. It's fine, Luna Ann. Just new to me, that's all. I really don't want to make a fool of myself, but it feels like some of these girls have been training in dress wearing and speaking topics the way that I have been training in battle strategy, and I don't want to embarrass you or Alpha Reggie, I say as I finally step out and grab a fluffy, soft white towel to dry off with. I step out to where they all are. They have seen every part of me today, so I have become less shy around these ladies. Oh, sweet girl, you could never embarrass us. You are unique and amazing in your own way, and many of the girls here are trying to fit into a mold that the old fuddy-duddies have decided is what a young woman should be. Just keep being your amazing self. What is tonight going to be like? Is it just a dance and mingling, or is there something I am expected to do? I look at Luna Ann through the mirror as the hairstylist brushes through the copious amounts of hairspray from this morning. Reggie and I open the ball, and since you will be with Xander, you both will join us for that first dance. Normally, he sits it out so he doesn't have to pick among the ladies who he will dance with. Something similar happened to Reggie before he found me, and it caused a whole slew of problems. The alpha took it as him choosing his daughter as a chosen mate, and spread that rumor the whole night, which of course caused many fight and almost a dispute between two packs. So unless the alpha prince or princess shows up with a date, they don't do the opening dance. She chuckles humorlessly. After that, you will both make the rounds getting to know the elders and alphas and the future alphas, since there will be several who will take over in the next year or two. My eyes raised up to hers. I don't even have to ask the question. Your boys will not be here. They have at least 6 or 7 more years before they start attending with Lucas and Ava. We really only have them join when they are ready to take over, so relationships can be established. The young alphas still do the training together here in the summers until we start that transition. She looked at me with sympathy. For the briefest moment, my heart fluttered as I thought that I would get to see them and explain what happened, but not yet. I did bring a letter for Xander to take to them. There was no way I could write them individually, and I tried to explain that with my 5-page letter. But I also didn't want to say anything that would get anyone in trouble. I know we aren't supposed to have outside contact for the first 2 years of training, so we stay focused. Once my hair is done, I switch with Luna Ann and get started with the makeup artist. She really was very good at her job. I could see the subtle transformation she created with the makeup, and it was way more intense than it was this morning. But I still looked like me, just enhanced. I was able to eat a snack before she finished with my makeup. Thank the goddess. Then we each slipped into our dresses, and I never felt more exposed and covered up at the same time. There was nothing hanging out or scandalous about my dress, but every cut and seam accentuated my 15-year-old body, and I felt every bit the woman I was pretending to be tonight. The light ice blue fabric had a little shimmer I didn't see when we tried it on a week ago, and it made my eyes shine. The ornate crystal jewels sparked and caught every beam of light, and reflected it in every direction possible. The scoop at my neck made me feel very safe, and I knew there wouldn't be any wardrobe malfunctions. I could feel the cool clasp in between my shoulder blades where the jeweled straps extended over my shoulders and attached, making sure the dress was secure, again leaving my back otherwise uncovered. The theme of the day. The high slit up the front of my leg was hidden unless I took gigantic steps, but gave the feeling of being mature. My hair was pulled to the side in some kind of intricate knot that was full of braids and curls. Most of it was off my back and shoulder, but a few tendrils were loose and curled down, looking effortlessly low-key in an elegant way. I just smiled at myself. Luna Ann could dress me anytime. I looked and felt amazing, but I wasn't uncomfortable in any way. I smiled at her in the mirror again, loving the way she and Luna Ava just took me in and mothered me in a way that I never knew I needed or wanted, but always appreciated. It almost brought me to tears, but I was pulled from my thoughts by a soft knock at the door. "It's time," Luna Ann whispers behind me. Here we go again. She has a delicate little laugh that is very practiced. It's the same one she used all day today, listening to the elders and other ranked members telling her stories that were supposed to be amusing, but she's probably heard a million times. I followed Luna Ann out into the hallway, not looking up, making sure everything was where it was supposed to be before we made it downstairs. Oh, hell no! A shout from in front of Luna Ann has me looking up sharply for something wrong. You have got to be kidding me. I am so fucking screwed, Xander. Language, Luna Ann scolds him while I'm still looking around to figure out what's wrong. Seriously? You're going to language me when I'm going to die tonight? What's wrong? Why are you being so dramatic? I ask, walking over to him. I told you that you would have your hands full. Did I exaggerate? She says, a little flippantly. I just thought you meant tonight with all the people here. Not that the potential for me to be murdered in my sleep was at 99%. I'm going to die. They will kill me if I'm too close, but they will also kill me if anyone else gets too close. I'm so screwed, Xander repeats. What are you rambling about? Get a grip. I look at him like he's lost his mind. You are supposed to look pretty, like the beautiful 15-year-old that you are. You are not supposed to look like a supermodel ready for your centerfold. He scrubs his hands over his face. I don't understand. I'm starting to panic a little. Is something wrong with the way that I look? Xander, stop now. Look what you are doing to her. I have never heard Luna Ann's voice that stern before. She looks at me. You look gorgeous, sweet girl. So beautiful, in fact, that my son has temporarily lost the use of his full brain capacity. She grabs my shoulders gently. He's afraid of your brothers and the rest of your friends' reaction to seeing you in pictures, looking this amazing. They have been very vocal in how they feel about you being so far away from them. And they will see you in this dress. She gives me that mom look that tells me I need to be ready for whatever stupid they throw at me the next time they see me. Skylar, you know them. Don't pretend like they don't have a very large and unnecessary protective streak when it comes to you. They will come in the middle of the night. Sam will hold me down while your brother and Oliver break my hands and arms for touching you, and Dakota will break my jaw and knock my teeth out for talking to you, and Cameron will probably dig my eyes out with a rusty spoon for even looking at you. Oh, stop. First, that was graphic. You have spent far too much time thinking about how they could torture you, and second, you said it was an unnecessary protective streak. If they really have something to say about it, they can come to me first. Although everyone here has the right to make fun of you for the rest of your life for hiding behind me and being a pansy. Now, put on your big boy panties and let's get this over with. I roll my eyes and grab his elbow while the rest of the adults are laughing behind us. So dramatic, I whisper to him. You do not understand. I'm not kidding when I say they are even more crazy about you now that you're gone. Something changed. He looks at me wide-eyed. Well, I guess that puts a damper on my plans for us to get caught making out then. That would really get you in trouble, wouldn't it? I laugh. Not funny, Midge. Not funny at all. Like earlier, we make our way into the elevator before the king and queen and head down with a set of warriors. This time, though, there is no one waiting for us at the bottom. Where is everyone? I ask, looking around, hoping no one jumps out at us. They are all waiting in the ballroom, Miss Skylar. Barty answers for me. The royal family make their entrance together for the ball. I see. We are just waiting the 3 minutes it will take the elevator to bring everyone else down, and Xander leans in to whisper in my ear. You are gorgeous tonight. Devastatingly gorgeous. If you thought you had a target before, you have no idea what's coming for you. No one will be able to compare. I could feel my cheeks heat at his compliment, and my heart is racing for so many reasons. We shouldn't be separated for any reason tonight. But if I am not with you, stay close to my mother. You have a guard assigned to you as well. I looked at him, and I'm sure my face let him know how I felt about that. He took a deep breath and sighed before continuing. You are the easy one to pick off from something like this. Before you argue, it's not about you not being able to fight. It's about anyone wanting to hurt us. The king, the queen, me. They will do it by trying to harm you, and it won't be just 1 or 2 people. You clearly mean something to our family. It doesn't matter the reason. Someone will try to separate you from us tonight, just to see if it's possible. I can guarantee it. I don't want you to be alarmed, just on guard, same as my mother always is in these situations. As much as the men in that room think they are the superior ones, it's our females that hold all the power. The power to remain in control, the power to heal and be kind, and the power to bring a man to his knees if she is harmed. That is how important you are. Okay, so no pressure then. I half joke. It's one of the reasons my father chose you. We have other females in the family that could be here, other warriors that could do the job. But for their own reasons, they don't fit the way you do. You not only fill the role of protector, you are also filling the role of my other half. And that is all the public needs to know about our situation. We want those rumors to happen. We want the power-hungry alphas and elders to step back, and you have made them do that, just by being here and being you. I just nod and he pulls me in for a hug. He has left me speechless, more times than I can count today. He gives me a light kiss right on the top of my head, and I smile. He is so like my big brother and I love it. The king and queen make it to us, and we are all lined up in front of the doors to the ballroom. The makeup and hair artists check all of us to make sure we are picture ready. I can hear someone make the announcement of our arrival, and then the doors are opened, and we parade in. The ballroom has been transformed since lunch. The round table have been moved to the perimeter of the room to allow for a large area in the middle for dancing and mingling. The massive chandelier in the center of the ceiling is lit dimly, giving off a soft, warm glow. The crystal sconces along the wall are at the same brightness. It's just enough to see and be seen, but not as bright as during the day. The whispers start immediately when Xander and I walk through the doorway. It's a tidal wave of murmuring and hushed sound. We make it up to the small platform our rectangular table is on, but instead of moving behind it to sit, we line up in front of it. Alpha Reggie begins a speech, thanking everyone for attending, stating that this was one of the most productive conferences he's attended in a long time. He lists the alliances that have been renewed and plans we have as a kingdom to continue the fight against the rogues. He continues speaking, but I am distracted as Xander pulls his arm from mine and wraps it around my waist, pulling me closer. I look at him from the corner of my eye, trying to school my features, but also ask what happened. He gives an almost imperceptible shake of his head and gives my hip a squeeze. Something is going on, but I have to trust him and his actions until he can tell me. He noticed something that made him cautious, whether it was for himself or for me. I'm not sure. I have a pretty good guess, though. So I lean into his side, letting him know he's taking the lead over whatever this situation is. When Alpha Reggie's speech is done, he directs everyone to sit while dinner is being served. Xander doesn't drop his hand from my side as he leads me around the table, and instead of sitting next to his mom, he pulls out his usual chair for me to sit in between them. What did you notice that I missed? I whisper to him in an almost inaudible voice, but I know with his alpha senses he can hear me. Just movement I don't like, he breathes back. My hearing is just as good. I wish I could mind link you so I could explain better. Do you trust me? Of course. Just want to know what to look for. For now, you are attached to my hip. If I can, I will explain later. Right now, we are under a microscope. Okay. I smile at him. I can't wait to meet everyone I haven't yet. I pull back, speaking at a more standard level. You said there are a few really important people I haven't had the pleasure. He smiles back and catches on to what I'm doing. We can't look like we are just being secretive, no matter what the rumors are supposed to be. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a few heads turn to blatantly look at us. Others were straightening ties or smoothing out clothing. It appears that mates came to the ball tonight, and some look absolutely pleasant, and others look just as snobby and pretentious as the men they are with. I take a deep breath and have to mentally ready myself for this battle. I can either let them get to me and stress me out with their intimidation tactics, or I can have fun and kill them with kindness and logic and common sense. I took a deep breath and decided the second one is going to be way more fun. I eat and enjoy the conversation between Xander and Luna Ann. Of course, just when I am losing myself in the conversation, things have to change and bring me back to the reality of what is in front of me. The low hum of polite conversations start to become louder with excitement, as the ball itself is getting ready to begin. The Omegas clear our plates, and Alpha Reggie stands and helps Luna Ann to her feet. Xander soon follows, mimicking the motion with me. The four of us walk out to the dance floor, and a realization hits me. Xander, I can't dance, like at all. I look at him with wide eyes, a little panicky. You know how to move, right? I nod in agreement. And you can follow movements, right? Again, I nod, not really sure where he's going with this. Then follow my lead, I got you. I nod again, my heart is hammering in my chest. I'm not nervous to dance with him, really. But in front of all these people is nerve-wracking. I'm not loving all the stupid rituals and pomp and circumstance that goes with being a part of the royal family. This is ridiculous. We take our places and the orchestra starts to play. Xander begins to move the both of us effortlessly. I'm glad he knows what he is doing. I don't take my eyes off of him, and his soft, supportive look helps me relax a bit and just go with it. But I don't dare look around. If I made eye contact with anyone, especially the females I can practically feel staring daggers at me, I would probably do something stupid like trip us both. So my eyes stay fixed. I wish the Warriors would let me have the elite brand just so I could mind link you. It would be so much easier to have a conversation, and for you to tell me all about some of these people, and who to look out for. I whisper low enough for him to hear. But Warrior Assistant wants me to wait until next year at the earliest. It would just be helpful in situations like these. I'll talk to Dad. You're right, it would be helpful. And who knows, they may want you on missions sooner. The brand is a ceremony that takes time. That's probably one of the reasons they want you to wait. So you get the full experience. After all of this, I could care less about the ceremonies and rituals that go with it. It seems like the ceremonies and rituals are really just designed to showcase the important people in attendance, not really on the people going through it. You're not wrong before he can finish what he was going to say. Red nails slide over the back of his shoulder, and we both stop moving. But Xander doesn't let go of me. In fact, he pulls me a little closer. Prince Alexander, I thought that since you have spent enough time showcasing your charity, you might want to finish the opening dance with someone more appropriate to your rank. It's the blonde from earlier today. I have to admit she has some balls coming up to him during what I'm gathering is an important tradition of the conference. Skylar is more than my equal, making her more qualified to be up here. I suggest you not make insults about people you are unaware of, Charlene. Xander starts to move us again. Before we get too far, though, Charlene opens her mouth again. She isn't going away without a fight. She's just a warrior. How does that make her an equal? She's not even of age yet, so you can't tell me she's your mate. We all know you haven't found her yet. Why would you even spend time with her when there are better choices for a chosen mate from your own pack? If she wasn't being a B-teach, I would be impressed with her tenacity. First, I have no plans on taking a chosen mate. That is something you, your father, and the rest of the elders need to get through your head. Second, even without being a part of the royal pack, Skylar outranks you if that's what you are concerned about. I suggest you take your insults elsewhere and do not approach either of us for the rest of the night, or I will have you removed. Charlene gasps. Seriously? That's the thing that's going to offend her? Being kicked out of a royal party. This girl needs to rethink her priorities. Xander does extract us from her finally, to finish the dance. We walk over to where his parents are accepting drinks from Barty. Oh, don't eat or drink anything that Barty doesn't give you personally. Xander looks at me as we reach his parents. My eyebrows shoot up. Really? People are that crazy? People have tried, little one, so we take no chances. Alpha Reggie smiles at me. Dad, we need to get Skylar a brand so she can mind link us. We have been accosted a couple times, and I couldn't warn her. I know the Warriors want to wait another year. But if she is going to be playing this part, we need to be able to communicate. Charlene is on a warpath. I saw her approach you. That was bold, even for her. Luna Ann smiles wickedly. Does she really think she is going to convince you to take her as a chosen mate? You would think, being in the royal pack, they would understand better than most that the future king needs his goddess-given mate. Unfortunately, that is not what they are thinking about. For them, it's politics and power. By being related by marriage, her family specifically thinks that it will sway more power and control their way, and that they will be able to influence Xander to make decisions that benefit them specifically. It's not new. I had a similar issue, but I also found my Anne far sooner than Xander even found Oscar. Now they just need their Luna. It's so nice to see them talking about Oscar so comfortably. Not all alphas would be okay with their son being bisexual, since it could mean the end of their lineage. But I guess they also know that Xander's Luna is coming too. That is fascinating too, that the moon goddess told you she's coming. But why is it taking so long? You would think that she would want her alpha kings to have their Lunas as soon as possible. I ask all of them. But I'm looking at Luna Ann. I'm not sure, really. There aren't a lot of details when it comes to the moon goddess. But I guess our future queen has some things she needs to experience, and people she needs to interact with before she gets to us. That's all that I was told. Interesting. Excuse me, Your Highnesses. I wonder if I could have a word with Miss Skylar here about some of her suggestions today. I was truly fascinated by your ideas, young lady, a grizzled but kind-looking old man says to me. As innocent as he looks, though, Xander's warning is making alarms blare in my head. This is what he was talking about, and they are not wasting time trying to separate us. I look to Xander to see what I should do. I don't want to openly offend anyone, but I also do not want to go anywhere with this guy alone. He's not an alpha. I can smell that much. So he must be one of the elders. He looks battle-worn and almost tired. His frame is still large and imposing, but I can see that he hasn't trained in years, and the atrophy in his muscles is very evident. His wrinkles hide a myriad of scars, meaning he must have been a great warrior at some time. Xander gives a slight nod, letting me know it's okay, but he doesn't let go of my arm when the elder starts to turn and move away. We follow behind. I thought we could take a walk on the veranda. It's such a lovely evening. He makes his way to the door that leads out onto the balcony that sits behind the ballroom. He finally looks back at us when he pulls the door open. Oh, Prince Xander, I hadn't noticed you joined us. I didn't mean to disturb you. I'm sure you have other important matters to discuss with the other alphas and elders. I can watch over Miss Skylar. If you have somewhere else you are needed. I didn't miss the dismissal in his voice, even though he made it as polite as possible towards his future king. Where I need to be is right next to Skylar, and I always like hearing her talk about battle strategy and training. It's something we have bonded over, actually. She's quite the warrior, so she really doesn't need anyone watching over her. I'm sure for a she-wolf she is very accomplished. I saw red at that comment, but Xander squeezed my hip to help keep me calm. I wanted nothing more than to punch this old bastard in the nose. There is always a place for females to help protect children and tend to the wounded on the battlefield. I clenched my jaw so tight, I'm surprised I didn't crack any teeth. Actually, Skylar goes head-to-head with male and female warriors. As a trainee in the elite warrior program, she is top in her class over both male and female. They don't divide. She also beat most of the trainers during her trials. She even took me down, and I was trying. Xander looked at me, and we both laughed. I'm surprised he admitted that. Elite training? How are you in elite training? You are not even age eligible yet. He let his nice old man facade slip just a little. Warrior Osistin and Alpha Reggie decided that I should join now, so I did. I shrug my shoulders like the answer should be that simple. But all recruits are approved by the Elder Committee. How did you get past that? I'm sure my father, the Alpha King, does not have to explain all of his decisions to you, Bastion. The king does what is necessary for his kingdom. The elders are an advisory committee when he needs a sounding board for larger problems. The look that Xander is giving Bastion is one that speaks volumes, more than words could ever convey. He is treading on thin ice, trying to insinuate that the Elder Committee has more power than the king, and that he needs to get approval for his decisions is a dangerous move. I have a little more insight into why I was brought here later than everyone, and why I don't have the warrior brand, though. I wonder if it's less to do with my age than these grumpy old men that want to feel like they have some semblance of power now that they are no longer Alpha's running packs. I pack that away to ask about later. Xander, there you are. I have been looking everywhere for you. You owe me a dance. Another blonde slides up next to us, and Xander rolls his eyes and looks between the woman and Bastion. This was the plan, to get me away from Xander to give her a chance to snatch him up. I almost have to laugh. They are not subtle about this at all. I expected more covert attempts, but they are not even trying to hide the fact that no one here wants me anywhere near Xander. Before he can get too angry, I place my hand on Xnader's chest. It's okay. Why don't you call Oscar and he can escort me outside while you entertain Blondie's delusion that she can maintain your attention for an entire dance? I say low, but still loud enough for all present to hear, and then wink at Xander. A smile breaks across his face before he laughs. I can see Blondie is not happy about my comment, but she's also not dumb enough to say anything in front of me either. I remember her from some of the meetings today, and if she was paying any attention, she knows I'm not stupid and can verbally spar with the best of them. Anything for you, Midge. I'm giving you 10 minutes. Then Oscar is going to bring you right back to me, okay? He touches the underside of my chin and lifts my eyes to his. The intimate gesture is not missed by the other two. Oscar saunters up. He really is a beautiful man. He smiles at Xander and then at me. I hear I'm needed to babysit, because you for sure don't need protection. The three of us laugh. I've got her, Your Highness. We'll see you in exactly 10 minutes. Oscar winks at him. Xander leans over to plant a kiss on my temple. I'll see you soon. I just nod. For not being mates, that boy seems awfully smitten with you. Bastion growls. How did you manage to get his affections when the women around here have been trying for years? I thought we were going to discuss some of my suggestions from earlier. I raise an eyebrow at him. I really just wanted to get to know you. You seem to be something of a novelty for the royal family, and I was curious. You seem to have each of them eating out of the palm of your hand. Even your new guard is only an inch from you. I don't have to look to see where Oscar is. I can feel his body heat behind my shoulder, and the tension rolling off of him is almost palpable. He doesn't like this elder, and I am inclined to trust his judgment just as I do Xander's in this situation. I did nothing spectacular, and I'm not looking for praise. I am a warrior. I participated in the trials like all warriors, wanting to join elite training. I had a few conversations with the Alpha King about battle strategy and training, and a few about life. The Alpha King and Luna Queen have been very kind to me. I have nothing else to say on the subject. Were you really a part of the relief warriors that helped the packs surrounding Alpha Breck's territory? Yes. How is that possible? There's no way any Delta or Gamma would have taken a 13-year-old girl on a mission like that. Maybe not in the pack you came from, but at Blue Crescent, we push our warriors, not hold them back. We have had several people my age start to train early because they showed signs of proficiency early on in many areas. Some are training to be healers with our pack doctors while still in school. Some train with our teachers working with pups. Some of our omegas are working with our farmers. I just happened to be good at fighting, so I was brought into the relief team to gain experience and knowledge. I also happened to be good at defensive strategy, which is what I supplied to Alpha Breck. He chose not to use the tools that were given to him, because it was designed by a girl, and now he is understanding the consequences of those actions. I closed my mouth after that. He doesn't need any more information from me, and he can just sit there and squirm, knowing he isn't intimidating me. I can feel Oscar's chest rumbling behind me. Is he laughing? Elder Bastian switches to safer topics after that. He asks how I like the facilities of the training camp, if I've had a chance to tour the Royal Pack, how I'm balancing school and training, things like that as we take a couple laps around the long and narrow balcony. Oscar taps my shoulder. It's time. Prince Alexander is looking for you. I just nod and take his offered arm. It was a very illuminating conversation. Elder Bastian, thank you. I turn Oscar and I around and start walking in, not caring if I get a reply from this slimy asshole. We make our way inside, and Xander is trying to extricate himself from Blondie without making a scene. But after the conversation with, who I can only assume was her father, I'm having none of it. I let go of Oscar and walk straight to her, getting so close that if I was taller, our eyelashes could braid together. I'm going to need you to stop making a fool of yourself. You had your opportunity with the Alpha Prince. He is not interested. Move along and move on. I let a little of my beta and I guess alpha aura out to make sure she knows I'm not kidding. I've never had a reason to use it before, but the sensation is amazing and terrifying all at once. I can see how the power could go to someone's head. Her eyes go wide and she slowly backs away. Smart girl. When you become a Luna, remind me not to piss you off, like ever. Oscar says from behind me, and I turn around confused. What are you talking about? I'm no Luna. I just stare at him as Xander takes his place by my side, wrapping his arm around my waist, where it has been all night. The hell you're not. That was borderline scary and very sexy, all at the same time. And I don't even like girls. I couldn't hold in a laugh at that. You are going to be someone's beta Luna. I just hope it's with someone in this kingdom. Can you imagine having to negotiate with her? He looks at Xander. We'd lose our whole pack fairly. He shakes his head, and Xander and I both laugh. The rest of the night was much the same. Females trying to gain Xander's attention, several elders trying to distract me, and many of them trying to get me secluded from the group was creepy enough, but I had an invisible warrior following me around, and Oscar by my side, if Xander couldn't be. There were actually a few males our age who tried to approach me, but both Xander and Oscar growled at them for even approaching. The jealousy and dominance that they gave off just made me laugh, and think of my brother and Oliver. Around midnight, Alpha, Reggie, and Luna Ann came over to us and said it was okay to leave if we wanted to. The three of us did not hesitate to get out of the dog and pony show. We practically ran to the elevator, but before the doors closed and hands slid through, stopping them, and my heart stuttered. Was this when someone actually tried something? The doors slid open slowly, and I let out the breath I didn't realize I was holding. Warrior Osistin. Seriously, you scared the ST out of me. Really? With all the BS you put up with tonight, someone stopping the elevator was what scared you? The verbal sparring is nothing. After tonight. That's what I expect from most of these people. I guess I let my guard down for something more aggressive. I chastised myself. I can't believe I let my guard down, even after I was warned. Lesson learned then? I just nod and look down at my feet. I'm upset with myself. That kind of behavior could be the difference between living or getting killed. Don't be too hard on yourself, little one. Your assessment is correct. These people mostly deal in words, brides, and threats, especially in the king's castle. They will not risk being an outcast here, but that doesn't mean that they won't try things away from the king. You did good tonight, though. You were watching me? The king would trust your safety to no one else. Remember, you are special, little one, and very important to this kingdom. I all of a sudden felt very tired. I don't want to be special. I just want to be me. I want to become a warrior, find my mate, and ride off into the sunset with my family, like a romance movie. Is that too much to ask? I lean into Xander and rest my head on his chest. His arm tightens around me, and I just close my eyes, breathing in his comforting scent. The next thing I know, I'm swaying, like someone is rocking me gently to sleep. I take a deep breath and bury my head into the soft fabric I'm laying on. I hear whispers around me, though, which is pulling me closer and closer to consciousness, making me grumpy. You should have seen her shut down, Bastion. I've never seen someone else dominate a conversation with him before. It was amazing. She went toe-to-toe with Olympia, too. I thought that girl was going to wet herself. I'm already a little terrified of Sky. When she gets her full Luna powers, she's going to be a force, bigger than she is now. What makes you think she will be a Luna? I'm starting to recognize voices now. Osistin is asking Oscar, I think. The swaying is lulling me back to dreamland, but I need to fight it. I want to hear this conversation. Are they talking about me? She commanded a room of over 50 people during the conferences today, as a female with all of these old-school bastards who think females should be relegated to the pups and the healing rooms. The only reason they brought their own daughters in, who had no concept of what was going on, was because they found out she was going to be there and wanted the chance to parade them in front of Xander, not actually participate. She shut all of them down and proved she deserved a spot at the table without being mean or petty or having a political agenda behind it. Then tonight, she stepped up to each insinuated insult and let no one intimidate her. If she's not a Luna, Warrior Brogan, I would fear for your job security. The people around us laugh quietly. Here, Xander, I want her in this guest room. Closest to you. There's a few I still don't trust that might try something tonight. I chose that moment to open my eyes, take a deep breath in, and look around. Hey, Midge, Xander whispers. You fell asleep in the elevator. You're staying here tonight and all day tomorrow, so don't try sneaking out early to go running. I just huff a laugh. He knows me too well already. What if I wake you up and we go running together? I have to get my 5 miles in. I can't slack because I'm hanging out with you. That will just give more ammunition to I stop myself when I realize that we are not the only people in the room he set me down in. To whom, little one? Who's giving you trouble? Warrior Osistin asks, an angry look on his face I have never seen directed my way before. I just shake my head. It's nothing, really. I just have a different schedule and training setup than the rest of the warriors, and some think that it is favoritism. I also get pulled from things in order to spend time with the royal family. Not everyone is happy about that, especially if they think it's an assignment, and they deserve the privilege since they have been here longer. It's nothing like my pack situation. It's just jealousy and a lack of information. Really, I don't want any of them intervening on my behalf. It just makes things worse. Warrior Osistin just nods, hopefully in understanding. Only time will tell. Let's get you changed and into bed. Boys, scooch. Luna Ann shoos everyone from the room, and I giggle, watching her handle all these big men who respond like little boys. She has me sit at the vanity and helps me pull all the pins and elastics from my hair. She points to pajamas that have been laid out for me and shows me the bathroom so I can wash the makeup and stress of the day off. She is still in my room waiting in one of the cushy armchairs in front of the massive fireplace, seemingly lost in a book. She sets the book aside, but doesn't move from her spot when she addresses me. If you really do want to go for a run in the morning, Please take Xander and Oscar and be back by 8 a.m. for breakfast. Some of the elders and alphas are staying in the guest wing, and based on their reaction to you tonight, will be less than pleasant knowing you are staying in the family wing. Why would they even know that? Are they really that nosy? Are you really asking that question? She laughs at me. They all probably know who is staying in each room on each floor and how many guests came. Many of them seem to think the higher up you are, the better the rooms are. They are all identical, I know because I designed them myself. But no one will listen to reason, so I let them have their squabble. They all saw you leave with Xander, which is also a novelty. He does not leave with a woman as a general rule. It causes too much drama. So you both will be the talk of breakfast, naturally. I just roll my eyes and sigh. Please tell me that I am not Xander's female mate. You would know that, right? I don't know if I could handle all of the stupid politics like you do. No one would have teeth left. I sag onto the cloud-soft comforter on my bed, and my eyes instantly get droopy with how comfortable the crisp white linens are. Oh, I don't think so. No. You are already a part of this family by blood. There would be no reason to pair you to Xander. But I agree with Oscar. You have great potential to be a leader in whichever pack you end up in. But I don't know if I want to be a Luna. Even to myself, I sound a little panicked. That's a lot to put on someone's shoulders. Don't you already do that, though? I just serve to protect my pack. That's all. Spoken like a Luna. She smiles like she's trying to rile me up. I grumble under my breath, which only makes her smile wider. You also train your pups. You keep all of your future leaders in line. Those boys would follow you to the ends of the earth. You know that, right? You clearly put up with so much more than anyone knows, and did it in the name of protecting your pack. All while maintaining a training schedule that rivals existence and every possible advanced class you could take at school. It's what any true Luna would do. But I also don't want to get your hopes up either, like many of the girls you saw here tonight. The title of Luna has been glorified to them, but not the job or the work that goes with the title. They will be devastated if they do not gain that title. You will not. I have no idea what the moon goddess has planned for you, but you are important. I let out a little whine. It sounds petulant even to my ears. She just complimented me in the best possible way, and all I can think of is when I am done training here. I just want to go home and be with my pack. By the time I get back, though, all the guys would be of age and probably found their mates and will have no use for me. That thought also makes me sad. I have these big dreams and I am following them without regret. But I also don't want to have this divide between me and Mateo and the rest of the guys because I followed my dreams. The thoughts are overwhelming and I feel tired all over again. Sleep, little one. You have one more day with us before you go back to reality. She walks over looking almost angelic in the dim light from the lamp next to the bed. She tucks me in and kisses me on the forehead, and I can't stop the single tear that slips out. Even Mary wasn't allowed to tuck me in when I was little. Luna Ann pretends not to notice. Sleep tight, sweet girl. With that, she turns and walks out of the room. I reach over and turn off the light. I think I was asleep before my head even hit the pillow. I get up the next morning, and before I can even step out of my room to head to find Xander, there's a knock at my door. Hold on, I say, trying to secure an elastic in my hair while opening the door at the same time. I open it to find Xander and Oscar in workout gear ready to go. I just smile at them, grab my phone, and head out. I sent a message to Sierra yesterday telling her I would be here, but I wasn't sure how all of this worked. Would she be allowed to see me here in the castle? I shot her another message as we walked out, letting her know we were going for a run around the castle property. I don't know if she'll get it, but I figured she would at least see it, and maybe we could meet up today, and I could describe all of the drama that went down last night. No sooner were we outside on the back lawn did I get a message back from her. She used a lot of four-letter words for me, waking her up this early, without notice. And she will meet me for breakfast. Since it's not an official function, she can come over to the castle. It is so early that the sun has barely started peeking over the mountain range, and the mist from the dew casts an eerie fog over the grass. Well, at least it will be hard to tell who's out here running, just in case your fan club is stalking you from their windows. I laugh at Xander. No worries there. All of their windows face the front of the castle. Why do you think we came out this way? He laughs, and Oscar and I join in. As we jog the first mile, we are a bit more leisurely about it. Just warming up, really. I get to know Oscar more. He's the son of the Royal Delta, which is perfect for him. He will be able to best protect the Royal Pack, and his motivations will be higher since his mates are the future Alpha and Luna. He has always thought he was just gay, but now that he knows they have a female mate waiting for them, he's interested to find out if they are both just mated to Xander, or if the three of them are mates. I never thought about that before. I have heard of people having more than one mate. It's not rare, but it's not super common either. I never stopped to consider how there might be different dynamics in those multi-person relationships. That would be something fascinating to study if I had free time. The land around the castle is breathtaking. We even made it all the way to the other side of the massive lake that I saw in the picture in Dakota's room. I found the fallen log and had Xander take my picture on it to send to the guys. It's not much, but something to let them know I am thinking of them and trying to connect from a distance. Xander also had to be a guy and made sure I took a picture sandwiched in between both him and Oscar so he could send his own picture. I felt guilty for about 3 seconds, and then thought it was hilarious. He will most definitely get responses before I do. I know I'm not supposed to have outside contact with people while I'm in training, but it has been eating me alive that I haven't been able to contact them, and I haven't had an opportunity to respond to their letters, which were mostly apologies for not being there for me and protecting me. Based on the tone of the letters, there's no way they didn't see me at my worst that night. I don't know how to let them know it isn't their fault. Kaylee is at fault and whoever else she talked into inflicting the pain. I am at fault for not standing up for myself and just putting her in her place when I know that I can. That is a mistake I will never make again. No matter what her father threatens, I will not stand by while she harms and tortures and threatens members of my pack. She has no right, even if she is Luna. No one should treat people the way she does. It will never go unanswered ever again. We finish our run by racing past the crazy maze Alpha Reggie took me in to tell me about my connection to the royal family, and up the stairs to the massive landing outside the main entryway. I won, of course. There was no way I was going to let either of them beat me. It was fun to have healthy, non-judged competition between friends. The kind that makes you smile whether you win or lose. Shh, T, you are fast for having such short legs, Midge. Oscar is panting, but I love that he picked up on the nickname the rest of the warriors have started to call me. Something about having a nickname signifies that you have been accepted. All the guys have one for me, and it feels like something personal between us. I wasn't kidding. She's a beta S. Xander is panting behind him. Do you do that run every day? Oscar asks. Not every day, but I do run in some capacity every day. I like to change it up, otherwise your body gets complacent. I shrug like it's common knowledge, because it should be to someone at his level. It's official, Xander. I'm sorry. But I'm going to need to leave early every morning and train with your girl here. Otherwise, I'm going to get my ass beat. We are all laughing as we head in the doors, not really paying attention to our surroundings. Prince Alexander. A shrill voice basically shouts, "Where have you been? We have been looking for you everywhere this morning. You left so abruptly." A brunette is talking and a blonde is following close behind. I know she means that we left early last night, but her word choice could make people believe that Xander spent the night with her or both of them. I have to hand it to her. She knows what she's doing. Skylar and I decided to go for a run this morning after we got up. You know, keeping up training and all, no matter what frivolous things we have to do. Not all of us can sleep in for those extra beauty hours. Okay, so Xander has some game too. I just step back closer to Oscar to let Xander handle these clowns. I'm not in the mood. It's too early for these catty bee teaches. Well, maybe we can sit together at breakfast this morning, since you're all done entertaining, and have the freedom to sit with people closer in rank to yourself. Why do these tramps keep insinuating that I am lower than they are? If they have no rank at all, then I outrank them in general. I can feel my temper rising to the surface. I take a deep breath before speaking. I will not let this girl rile me up. She isn't worth it. I don't know what came over me, but I stepped forward and took Xander's arm. Actually, Xander, we should go shower and change. I know your mother was expecting us down right at 8 for breakfast. At this rate, with all of the chit-chat, we will probably only have time for one shower. I grab his arm tighter and wink at the brunette and drag Xander away willingly. Oscar trying and failing to hold in his laughter as we make our way to the elevator. Yep, Luna Midge, I will never piss you off as long as I am alive. Oscar is openly laughing as the elevator is closing on us. Xander still hasn't said anything. Xander, say something. Did I do something wrong? Cross a line? She was just pissing me off, and the only way I could think to shut her up was to imply that we were sleeping together. I tried not to outwardly cringe at that. It was so far out of my depth, I hope I didn't embarrass him. I rub my hands over my sweaty face to try and rid some of the blush I know is creeping up my neck and my cheeks. He pulls me into a sweaty hug. You did not cross any line, but do you even have any idea what you told her? He leans me back, just far enough to look me in the eyes. Mostly, yes. The concept I implied, I fully understand. Any actual real-world knowledge of any of that stuff, not a clue. I smile sheepishly and shrug my shoulders at him before he pulls me back into a hug. Sometimes I forget how young and innocent you are. There are so many things you have gone through that no one your age should even have to think about. And then normal teenage things, like SX, you are still so innocent. Oh damn, I never thought about that. Oscar almost shouts. You speak in a war meeting like a 60-year-old seasoned veteran. But you're not? You're what, 15? You're just a baby. Have you even had your first kiss yet? I felt Xander's arms tighten around me, and his breath catch like he's afraid to know the answer. Not romantically, no. It's mostly been like what you've seen Xander do. Kisses on the cheek or forehead. All more brotherly than anything. You have to remember, until a year ago, no one hung out with me or even acknowledged my presence. It was an unspoken rule by my bully. She made sure people gave me a wide berth. If they tried to engage with me, they got hurt. And I couldn't always intervene, so it was just easier to keep my distance. It kept them safer. My brother and the rest of the guys didn't even acknowledge me until last year when Sierra showed up. So my romantic experience has been vicarious observations through my brother and his friends, and their conquests. You are really going to have to give up this girl's name sometime, Midge. The more I learn about what you went through, the more I want to rip her hair out, one strand at a time. Xander growls into my hair before he takes a deep breath in and lets it out slowly. How is it possible that you aren't my mate, but your scent has the ability to calm me down almost as well as Oscar's? That's a random change of subject, I observe, still in his embrace, face buried in his chest. He doesn't seem keen on letting me go anytime soon. It's true though, I noticed it last night too, Oscar adds in, when Bastian decided he could be a DAK when Xander left. I was so close to you. Your scent kept me level-headed, but you aren't our mate, are you? I shake my head no. Maybe that's your ability. The special blood thing that you get from being the firstborn female in our bloodline. Xander observes. I'll have to ask Dad. I didn't even register that's what was happening until now. But the fact that it works on Oscar too, it has to be something. Only a mate's scent is supposed to have that effect. The elevator door dings as we reach our floor. I know this is going to sound weird as hell, but Midge, go grab some clothes. You're going to get ready in our room this morning. What? Both Oscar and I speak at the same time. Is that really necessary? I ask. There isn't a guard for you, and after what happened downstairs, people are already milling about the castle. It would make me feel better if you stayed close. Oscar looks a little defeated, and I can imagine after all the SX talk I know why. What if I promise to not leave my room until you and Oscar come to get me? I feel like a third wheel, and that is not a place I want to be in. Go do what you need to do. I'm pleading, both for me and for Oscar. You can even text me when you're on your way. I won't answer the door unless I know you're coming. Oh, he'll be coming all right. Oscar mumbles. I know I turned 3 shades of red, but I pretend to ignore it. We need to talk your dad into getting me branded so I can mind link. This would be so much easier. I rub my temples as I walk towards my door. I will not get in the way of the very little time they have together. I will not come out. I swear. Text me when you are at my door. I will be quick, but take your time and do what you need to do. I wink at both of them and slide through my door and lock it before anyone can argue. Knowing what they are doing just a room away has me thinking about who I will be with, who I could be with. The problem is, I only see my guys. My brother is not a turn-on for me, and Sam is for sure taken by Sierra. It's only a matter of time, but Oliver and Cameron and Dakota. Their faces swim in my head as I strip off my sweaty clothes and step into the steaming shower. I wouldn't even be able to choose if the moon goddess gave me a choice. They all protect me in different ways, make me feel safe and loved. More than just a sister or friend. How would that work? Would she make me choose or give me 3 mates? How would I even keep up with that? Alphas are known for their SX drives. And once they find their Luna, you may not see them for a week. What would it be like to have 2 or 3 men like that? To have someone who will be that obsessed with me and my body sounds amazing and terrifying all at the same time. What would they do first? Would they be gentle, ease me into intimacy, or would they be rough, forcing dominance over me? Both thoughts have me panting to myself because they aren't all bad thoughts. I should be getting clean from our long run, but I can't get the idea of someone owning my body, dominating me in a way no one has before. I have no idea how long I have been in here, but I hurry to get out and change, just in case it was longer than necessary. I guess I didn't need to be in a hurry, since it was a full 30 minutes late that Xander and Oscar came to retrieve me. I'm sorry. Okay, I can't help myself. You will understand when you find your mate. You won't be able to keep your hands to yourself. Oscar is pleading with me, even though I haven't said a thing. I may be a little flush in the cheeks and laughed at him looking completely out of sorts when they came to get me, but I left the topic alone. What they do as mates is what they do. It's none of my business. Just remind me when I do find my mate to call you for advice on technique. I say to get him to stop yammering at me. I meant it to be a joke, but Xander's head snapped to me and Oscar got the biggest grin behind his back. Oscar and I are going to be lifelong buddies. I can feel it. Stop talking now. I feel like Cameron, Dakota, Mateo, and Oliver are all screaming in my subconscious to keep you 2 apart. Xander scrubs his face with his hands. All the better to pretend we are not even having this conversation. I say, as if it were Sierra by my side, not Oscar. Oh, the 2 of them are going to get me in trouble. By the way, Oscar whispers in my ear, even though we both know Xander can hear us. Who were you thinking about? I just look at him in confusion. You have that just got laid look, and I know for a fact no one was in your room. So which one were you thinking about? Does more than one count? I smile and leave it at that, hoping he could live his vicarious feeling out with very little information. We make it to the elevator, Oscar and I laughing, and Xander being dramatic, saying if the guys find out that I have been having these kinds of conversations with his mate, they will find some way to torture him. We step out to a crowd similar to yesterday morning, just less formalities. I still get the stares from the people who have decided I am a threat, but don't know what to do with that since I am never left alone. A few people I don't recognize from the meetings yesterday are here. Based on build and the way they stand, they must be guards or warriors of some kind. I wonder why they're all here. Alpha Reggie and Luna Ann have already stepped up into the buffet line. They seem to be waiting for us. I hope they haven't been waiting long. I didn't even bother looking at the time. We make our way towards them, Xander not acting like we are late at all. I am a nervous wreck. I am not someone who keeps the king and queen waiting. Nice of you to join us, Xander, Skylar, Oscar. Alpha Reggie says polite enough, but the undertone is exasperation and amusement rolled together. He at least knows what kept the boys, and I am too chicken to say anything to correct his assumption. We move through the line quickly, saying hello and acknowledging people as we go. When we get to the head table, I am sitting between Oscar and Xander. Clearly, there is some potential for threat against me. This is really frustrating. I just need to fight in front of these people, and then they won't mess with me. On second thought, though, these idiots would probably think it's rigged, so it wouldn't matter. It's so stupid. Unlike yesterday, though, people are milling about throughout breakfast, and several come to the head table to talk. Mostly to the king and queen, but to Xander and I, too. A female warrior approaches. I only know because she has the same training gear we are required to wear on the elite warrior grounds. She can't be much older than me, and she looks fearless, like Sierra on the warpath for the perfect dress. She walks straight to me. Did you really take on the whole warrior team at trials? She asks, without even bothering with the formalities of introductions. It wasn't an aggressive or accusatory question either. She really is just curious. I actually don't know, really. I don't even know who or how many I went up against. It's kind of a blur. I look to Xander. Maybe he knows the answer. But before he can say anything, a large man I vaguely recognize walks up behind her and places a hand on her shoulder. You'll have to forgive my daughter. You have become something of a legend amongst the warriors around here. She doesn't believe me when I tell her what you were able to accomplish during your trials. He laughs, and she doesn't even pretend to be offended. Skylar, this is Wilhelmina, my daughter. And may I say, your wolf is an amazing fighter. We learned a great deal from our time with you at trials. He inclines his head to me. Thank you. I appreciate that I leave the end of the question hanging, since he didn't introduce himself too. Jeremy, I hope to train with you again. He smiles warmly. And you can call me Mina. There's no reason to go throwing that mouthful of a name around. She smiles at me. But really, do you know how many people you actually fought against? The rumors are all over the place, and no one wants to offend you by asking you outright. I knew I liked her straight away. Honestly, Warrior Assistant would be the best person to ask. I really don't know how many opponents I had. I have been told I went against the most, though. I shrug, trying to give her the best answer I can. Every warrior keeps stats. There's no way you didn't count if you're as good as everyone says. She puts her hand on her hip, letting me know that my answer wasn't good enough. But there's still no animosity in her tone. Just logic. You're right. I normally do. I'm actually really competitive. But I also went into trials this year under the impression that it was just an assessment for my trainers to see me with warriors from outside packs, and for me to learn. I'm only 15. We had to get special permission just for that. Alpha Reggie allowed it because it was hosted at my pack. Otherwise, I don't think I would have even been able to participate this year. So my focus was more on watching the people around me in battle scenarios. What were your takeaways then? Her eyes light up when she asks, "Were you there? I feel like I would remember you, even if you fought in your wolf form only." Something about this girl draws me in. Kindred spirit, maybe? I vaguely hear someone say, "We lost her," and a response of "We lost them both." But I couldn't be bothered. Another warrior who might have been at trials like Wyatt and Lillian makes me feel closer to home somehow. That connection's still alive, even with everything that has happened since then. No, not this year, but next. I'll be 18 soon, and there's enough time between my birthday and the next trails for me to look for my mate. And if he's not here, then Dad says I can participate. That's so exciting. Either way, you have something to look forward to. So, if you're only 15, why are you in elite training? How did you manage that? I try not to let the darkness that passes through my mind at what Kaylee and her cronies did to me show on my face. I take a deep breath and give a half-truth. Alpha Reggie, Warrior Osiston, and Warrior Nathaniel decided that since I was ahead in school, that it would be okay for me to come and do a modified training and education schedule here. It was an opportunity I couldn't refuse. I left out the part about not being able to refuse, because I was beaten unconscious. That would open up the floodgate of questions I'm not ready to answer for any of these people. She looks at me for a second, and I think she might try to probe more, but she must see something there that stops her. Instead, she asks, "What is something you learned that you didn't already know?" Really, the basics are always crucial, and I think they are sometimes overlooked when warriors start to advance. I noticed that my groundwork and grappling need to improve. I'm small, so I try not to let the fight go to the ground. Then my opponent's size can be used against me. No matter how skilled I am, if my arms and or legs are pinned, I can't use them to defend myself. She nods her head. We should work out together. I bet my dad could make that happen. That would be great. I love working with new people. I almost jumped out of my seat from excitement. You weren't this excited to work with Xander and I. Oscar pretends to whine next to me. I have already worked out with and beat Xander, and I'm faster than you, so I think we're all good. I smile and wink at him, and Mina starts to laugh, like actually cackling loud enough for half the room to turn around and look our way. Oh man, I like you. How long are you here, in the castle, I mean? I go back to the training compound today sometime, but Alpha Reggie hasn't really said when yet. She nods her head in thought for a beat, and then looks over her shoulder. Dad, can I take Skylar to the training grounds for a couple hours? I bet she hasn't even seen the whole territory yet. She looks back at me. We have a few different training grounds since the territory is so big, but the one closest to the castle is probably the best, after the elite warrior grounds. But us lowly general warriors aren't allowed on those grounds. She smiles as she says it, being dramatic with her hand on her chest. Her dad immediately looks to Alpha Reggie for confirmation. Do you have plans for Skylar this morning? Or can we let the girls have their fun before lunch? I mean, if she's anything like Mina, they'll figure out a way to make it happen anyway. He shrugs, and all of the adults laugh, while Mina and I just roll our eyes. He isn't wrong. That sounds excellent. Skylar hasn't had a chance to see the grounds really. Her training started abruptly, and she hasn't had much downtime since she started. Take Oscar with you though, since you can't mind link with us, just in case, and be back by lunch. Alpha Reggie offers. What about me? Xander sounds incredulous. You, my dear son, and future king, have duties today. We are still meeting with the elders to go over all of the results of yesterday's conferences, and I'm sure they will want to revisit your mate situation, since it is the only topic they haven't gotten their way on in a very long time. The look that passes between them is a serious one, and I can tell other words are being said over MindLink about it. I really want to know what is going on, and why in the world the elders think they have so much power and say in everything. They are advisors chosen to give opinions to the kings, so he can make informed decisions about large matters for the kingdom. They are liaisons for the different packs in the kingdom. Clearly, many of them have become lazy, self-important and self-righteous, but I wish Alpha Reggie would just shut them down. Maybe that's what this meeting will be. A respectful shutdown of their stupid notions that Xander should take a chosen mate done behind closed doors, so no one is embarrassed or ridiculed. Mina and I don't hesitate to jump from our seats. Oscar follows more slowly. He is clearly not used to being separated from Xander, but he also can't call attention to their relationship yet. They need their Luna first. I don't miss the excited looks from some of the girls we pass as we basically run out of the dining hall. I feel bad for leaving Xander, but he has been dealing with this for a long time and doesn't actually need me to protect him. I'm sure it makes his day go so much better having Oscar and I there as a buffer. Maybe Mina can step in too when I'm not here. Oscar leads us out the front doors I came in on my first visit here and heads over to the side of the castle where the hidden garage is. A smaller door opens and he comes out driving a very supped-up golf cart-looking vehicle. "Your chariot, my ladies." He laughs at us. "Is it really so far that we have to drive there?" I question. I would rather walk. It makes me feel lazy if something really is close enough. Why waste resources? Not so much that it's far, just I would rather get there and get to work than waste precious time walking. He drawls out, and I can't help but giggle. He does not disappoint either. With the cart we got there in less than 10 minutes, and we did not take the well-worn path. He made sure we were entertained by off-roading and almost throwing me from the cart a couple times in the process. The training ground was further than the lake we stopped at this morning, but I could still see it and the waterfall clearly. The space was wide open with clearly defined sparring circles marked in the dirt and the grass. The dirt patches were dry and full of rocks and pebbles, which would suck to get taken down on. But I guess in a real fight there won't be padding and pillows to catch our falls. Beyond the sparring circles were more of the ropes and climbing courses, like what we have at the compound, although the ropes seem to be placed closer together here, probably making the training easier here. There are a few more cargo nets and platforms built into trees. I like the idea that they are using the surrounding area for naturally occurring things to train with. It makes the training more realistic for sure. Mina wastes no time finding a sparring circle in the grass. "All right, you said you wanted to work on your groundwork. Let's see what you've got." "We aren't going to warm up first?" I ask, stalling a little at her abrupt stance. "Nah. We aren't really going to go that hard, and let's be honest, if we ever do fight our enemies, won't wait for us to be properly warmed up to kick their asses. They will just attack." Okay, she's not wrong. I move to the circle and watch her closely. She moves like a cat, lithe and deliberate. She's studying me as much as I am studying her. When she finally realizes I will not make the first move, she lunges right at my torso. This is the obvious choice since I mentioned groundwork. She wants to take me down right away since I identified it as a weakness. I hold my ground for as long as I can. She is taller than me, like most people, but I think I have more weight than she does. She's built lean like a runner, long, graceful muscles that you don't really see on a warrior very often. We continue to move together. No punches are being thrown. This is strictly grappling to gain dominance and ground the opponent. Arms are flying, hands grabbing, but neither of us can keep hold long enough to get the other to submit. She finally gets her leg around to sweep mine, but I counter as we both go down, and she doesn't expect me to roll the way that I do. And I end up straddling her stomach while she tries to buck me off, and I am desperately holding onto her wrists. But we are both so sweaty at this point that it's hard to maintain my grip. Just when I think she's going to give, a feral growl rips through the clearing, and the next thing I know, I'm being thrown out of the circle we are sparring in, and all hell breaks loose. I hit my head and for a second can only see stars, but I can hear the growling and snapping of jaws, claws ripping up the ground. I shake my head and look around again. There are 5 wolves, bigger than I have seen before outside of the alphas and betas I know. They look rough and mangy, like they live in their wolf form, and they reek something awful, old blood and death wafting out of their open jaws. I quickly get up and run for the wolf, who has managed to pin Oscar by the back of the neck. I don't even think about the consequences. He can't die. That would destroy Xander, and I can't allow that. I jump and throw my full body weight at him. It's not much, but enough to knock him over, since he didn't see me coming and Oscar jumps up, bleeding from the neck. But he doesn't even check it before tearing through his clothes to shift and comes after this large dark gray wolf that now has me in his sights. Once he's distracted, I look for Mina, who has already shifted into her russet-colored wolf and is fending off 2 wolves right now. The other 2 rogues seem to be standing guard or waiting to engage for some reason. I keep them in my line of sight as I run towards Mina, shifting in midair. I land on the lighter of the 2 wolves. They all seem to be different shades of gray. We go rolling, and I maintain my dominance by grabbing the scruff of his neck and biting hard, tasting the metallic flavor of blood. It's disgusting and yet invigorating at the same time. I feel more powerful knowing I injured him right away and so forcefully. He rolls over and tries to pin me with his bulk, forcing me to let go and roll away. This was the exact reason I wanted to train with Mina. Now it seems like a great oversight in my training. And that blame lies solely on me for not pursuing it before. I can't think of that right now, though. I have to keep my head focused and use the strengths I do have. No doubt Oscar has called for backup, but it is going to take a bit for them to get here. My rogue wolf charges again, mouth wide open, not even trying to disguise his form of attack. I can smell the rotting sewage scent from his mouth. I wonder if that is just from killing a bunch, or if that's a rogue thing. Something to pack away and ask later. I roll out of the way at the last second, sending his bulk barreling past me, and I go on the offensive, chasing him down. He is leading me toward the other 2 rogues standing guard. He really isn't that smart if he thinks I can't see the ambush coming. I pick up speed just as he's getting close to the first one, and jump, sending all 4 of my paws into his side and knocking him into his buddy, sending them both toppling in a heap of legs and fur. In my single-minded focus, though, I lost track of the other sentinel until he came up and sliced his razor-sharp teeth into my back leg, instantly dropping me to the ground. I roll around, keeping him in my sights. He doesn't seem to want to kill me, though. He's content with me being on the ground, injured. He only snaps at me if I try to get up or scoot away. His bulky body is blocking everything else. I can still hear fighting on the other side of him, but I don't know who it is, and I can't link with my friends to check on them. The pain in my leg is starting to subside. This rogue is letting me just lay here and heal, but he also doesn't know that I am a fast healer. Thank you, Alpha Blood. I just need a couple more minutes. The feeling is coming back to my foot now that the wound has closed, and I've stopped bleeding out everywhere. I am about to pounce when a feral and dominating growl rips through the clearing, and I hear thunderous pounding of paws on the ground. My opponent makes the mistake of looking away from me, and I jump up, sinking my teeth into his neck and lock my jaw. He can toss and roll all he wants. I'm not letting go until our backup arrives, and he can be interrogated. 5 rogue wolves don't just stumble onto the Alpha King's territory and start a fight for no reason. The blood in my mouth tastes disgusting, but I won't let go even though my gag reflex is telling me to do just that as the warm, thick liquid rolls down my throat. My teeth are slowing the flow down, so he won't die quickly, but he won't get a second chance to hurt anyone. The noise of fighting grows around me as warriors storm the clearing. I still can't see Oscar or Mina, which makes me nervous. The warriors make quick work of the other rogues and an enormous black wolf, with the most beautiful chocolate brown eyes, walks up to me and the rogue I am trying to contain. The black wolf looks at me, and his eyes soften for a brief moment, and then look back at the rogue and go murderous. Then I feel the aura blast from him with a growl that pulses from his chest, vibrating through everything in the clearing. The alpha aura that causes everyone to stop moving except for a large gray wolf with black markings along his face and down his head to his shoulders, and me, Xander and Alpha Reggie. I slowly let go of my rogue and stumbled sideways, my leg still healing and not really liking the body weight placed on it, now that adrenaline is starting to subside. I refuse to fall or sit down, though. These jackassees don't get to see that they were able to injure me so easily in case they were reporting to someone we can't see. Xander continues to growl at my rogue, but moves closer to me so I can lean on him. It looks more like a lover's gesture than him holding me upright, which my ego appreciates at the moment. These two are gone, Your Highness. A warrior I don't recognize says somewhere to my left. This one is still breathing, but barely. Mina's dad says, Oscar and Skylar's rogues are still alive. Take them back to the holding cells. Give them just enough treatment to keep them alive. Have Doc Sylvia force their shift, then collar them. Warrior Assistant comes up from behind us. All the other warriors have shifted and started with their assignments. Ex-Nader and I remain in wolf form. I refuse to shift without something to change into. I don't know any of these guys really, and I don't like being naked in front of Sierra on a good day. As if he can read my mind, Warrior Assistant looks at me. I have a shirt for you, little one. Xander's blocking you. Shift so we can talk. I don't hesitate. I want to tell them what happened so I can get information in return. What the hell just happened? And why are hostile rogues so far into the king's territory? I shift and grab the shirt, pulling it on quickly. Then Xander shifts next to me, and it's then that I realize all of the warriors were fully clothed when they shifted back. How do you do that? Shift without destroying clothes? That could be useful information. I look up at Xander, then to Assistant expectantly. It is something we will teach you how to do in elite training. Don't worry. Now tell us what happened. How far out did you guys go to train? Mina and Oscar know not to leave the territory with so few people, especially this side. Assistant looks like he's trying to hold back anger. What are you talking about? We didn't go anywhere outside the territory, sir. I add as an afterthought with my slight attitude. I wasn't going to let my friends get punished for a perceived lack of following the rules. We came right here to train, and this is where they attacked us. Xander looked from me to Assistant and back. That's not possible. There's no way they got this far undetected. As you can see, it's completely possible they did just that. I gesture around me. We were here training when 3 attacked us. 2 were waiting over there by the tree line. I pointed to where the rogue I was fighting waited until he thought I wasn't paying attention, about 20 yards away from where we are standing now. The 2 extras seemed to be waiting for some kind of signal to join in. We didn't hear or smell them until they were attacking. What's going on, and how did they get so close to the castle? Are Mina and Oscar okay? I can't see them among the other warriors cleaning up, but some have set out to run quick patrols to make sure there aren't any other rogues here. They both share a look which is starting to piss me off. Something is clearly going on, and I am being left out. To keep from yelling at them, I start to shift on my leg, testing it out and mentally checking for any other injuries. I am covered in blood, some my own, some the rogues. I need to scrub this nasty-smelling sheety off, but I really want answers first. Xander notices my fidgeting and seems to take me in fully now. Are you hurt? I noticed you're limping before. I'm okay now, I think. That rogue got a good bite into my flank, but I think it's healed completely. I'm just sore. Not a big deal. Are you guys going to tell me what's going on? Or am I not high enough to be given information? None of that, little one. If we have information to share, we will share it. You are injured. You need to be seen by the docs. He tilts his head past me to a group in line. They all seem to be fine, but waiting to get checked anyway. I'm fine. Everything already healed, so I can't have been that bad. I shrug it off, hoping they will just talk to me, let me in. But that was too much to ask. Not an option, little one. Anyone involved in a fight gets checked out thoroughly. We don't know what kind of shiti they might be carrying, and you were bit, and it looks like you bit one of your opponents. We need to make sure we take precautions. I close my eyes to keep from rolling them, like the teenager that I am, and take a deep breath, then let it out slowly. The line isn't going anywhere fast, so I feel like I can push a bit more. Is Oscar and Mina in line? I didn't see them when everything stopped. Oscar has been checked and is out on patrol. Mina has been taken back to the PAC hospital. She broke her leg and it needed to be reset. She should be fine in a couple of hours. The two of them combined gave us less trouble than you are now. Go get checked, then you can ask all the questions you want. Osistin physically turned me and pushed me towards the queue of warriors. Will you actually answer them, though? I throw over my shoulder, not really needing an answer. But I decided acting like a child towards him is a good distraction for what just happened. I could hear a low huff, but he didn't respond otherwise. The checkup station was pretty basic. They asked me if and where I had been injured, how many times I was bitten, if anything was painful or lingered. Things like that. I thought I was going to get away and be able to help with patrol, but that would have been too easy. She needs to see Doc Gannon and Doc Sylvia for blood work. She was bitten, and she took a pretty good chunk out of the guy we took prisoner. Osistin walks up behind me. Yes, sir. The healer looking at me said, not making eye contact with me. I'm sure I'm not the first warrior who just wants a quick check and to just get back to work. She leads me over to another golf cart that has two other warriors who seem to still be bleeding. I forget that I am a fast healer for a second, and wonder what could have happened that would cause them to continue bleeding half an hour after the fight was over. The guy I sat next to must have seen me staring as he bumped my shoulder and smiled. It's not as bad as it looks, I swear. The little one tried to take a chunk out of my arm before we took him down. The skin flapping around is making it hard to heal. Doc Gannon will stitch me up, and I should be ready to fight again tomorrow. I give him a small smile. One of them got me in the leg. My first rogue bite. Definitely don't need that to happen ever again. We both chuckle as we go bumping over the terrain, back to the PAC hospital. The guy sitting in front looked worse by far. He was pale and his head was bobbing around like he didn't have the strength to hold it up. What happened while I was fighting off the one rogue? I really needed to learn how to fight my opponent and pay attention to my surroundings at the same time. There wasn't a lot to do once we were there. I had already completely healed, so I really just needed a shower, which Doc Sylvia allowed me to do in one of the treatment rooms after I gave her a blood sample. I have no idea why my blood is so interesting to her, and she never explains what she is doing. She even took a sample of the blood that was on my skin, I assume from the rogue. I should be more suspicious, but I can't seem to find any animosity or bad vibes from her. I trust her like I do Sierra. We'll see if that's smart or crazy. I think she is just naturally curious and has her own questions to answer, and if I can provide answers for her, so be it. It was time for dinner when I was finally able to leave the hospital. Luna Ann and Barty were there to take me back to the castle. As we drove the short distance, a thought occurred to me. I thought I would be going back to the training compound tonight. Shouldn't you just take me back and let me eat dinner there? They would be just finishing training by the time we got there. I really shouldn't miss any more mandatory trainings. It's starting to look like favoritism. I keep my focus out the window as I say it. I don't want to see their reactions. It's no one else's business what I do or don't do outside training, and if the Alpha King requested anyone else to attend functions, they wouldn't bat an eye. But it's me, and everything about me and my presence here has been against every rule that has been set in place. It doesn't matter how many times I prove myself. I'm too young to be here. Didn't go through the rituals with them, and have a connection with the royal family that no one understands because they aren't privileged to that information. I'm back to being the freak. I take a deep breath and do my best no to sigh too loudly at that thought. Not tonight, little one. We have things to discuss, and you were an integral part of the fight today. Your insight is needed as much as Oaksar and Mina's, Luna Ann said calmly. But I heard a note of something there. Disappointment, maybe. But what was she disappointed in? Me? The fight? Having to keep me at the castle? Maybe I was a bigger burden than she thought. I'll have to talk to Alpha Reggie about getting me back to the compound tonight, no matter how late it is. I don't want to inconvenience them anymore. We pull into the garage, and I am led back up to the floor with all of the conference rooms. Only this time, the doors are thrown open, and loud voices can be heard from the stairs at the end of the hall. I look at Luna Ann, then Barty, but neither acknowledge me, just keep walking. Stoic expressions on their faces. We walk into the largest conference room, and the round table is full of elders and alphas with guards, and their mates standing close by. We should have been told there was a potential threat to us coming here. You are taking liberties with our lives. That could have been any one of us out there today, attacked and rendered useless to our packs. Alpha Sharp from the Shadow Pack shouts at Alpha Reggie, and I feel an instant urge to defend him. As a pack alpha, I would hope that your skills would be keen enough to handle the likes of 5 rogues, not much bigger than myself. Although, I've never seen you fight, so it's just an assumption. If a small fight like that renders you useless, maybe you are in the wrong position. I stand next to Alpha Reggie, hands clasped behind my back, doing my best to school my face into something neutral. There are always threats. Power has that effect on some people. It will never go away, and as alphas and elders, you should know that, and understand that to be a huge part of your job description. Watch your tone, girl. You have no business being here in the first place. More regulations have been ignored where you are concerned than anyone I have ever heard of. You need to remove yourself from this official meeting with the leaders of our kingdom. You are incorrect in many of your assumptions, Emmanuel. First, she earned her way here. The age restrictions are to help wolves find their mates, nothing more. Second, she belongs in this meeting because she was involved in the fight and managed to capture and keep alive the one rogue we have been able to interrogate. Something your warriors should consider next time. Capture, not kill. We get more answers that way. Third, as a leader in her pack, she is representing her alpha in his absence. You would do well to remember who is in charge. We have a hierarchy for a reason, and you have been selected to be a part of that. Not in charge of it, but the moon goddess has also removed those privileges too. Many of you have become too comfortable in your positions and forgotten what your position entails. His pointed look swept the room. Now, we were discussing opening the branding ritual for Skylar so she can communicate the next time she is required to assist us in battle. The same alpha spoke up as an elder looked ready to speak. We have already done the ritual for warrior branding, and she is far too young. That level of connection is privileged. She has not earned it yet. I am seething inside, but doing my best to keep a neutral face. This is why I would not be good in a leadership role. I really want to punch him, and if he keeps talking I just might jump over this table and give in to my impulses. You really are a misogynistic moron, aren't you? Another alpha speaks up. Alpha Bo from the Eclipse Pack doesn't usually speak up or say much unless he's asked a direct question. He's a silent observer, but from what I understand, he more than makes up for it on the field. You were there today, right? The training grounds where he points at me, managed to not only keep herself and her friends safe, but is also the only one to have a live captive to question. My warriors did what was best. Kill the lot of those filthy rogues. But we can't get answers from the dead. Things like how many of them are working together would be nice to know. They are rogues. By definition, they do not work together. Alpha Emmanuel spat, like this was an absolute answer. The way that they fought today would suggest otherwise. I finally say, this guy needs to step down and let his heir take over. He's going to get everyone killed with that narrow mind. You don't know what you are talking about, silly girl. Let the men speak. Emmanuel hisses at me. My temper flares, and I may have to pretend later that my wolf's rage took over, and I had no control over my words or my actions. Excuse you? Are you fucking kidding me? I was there. Unlike you, I fought several of them. You can attempt to dismiss me all you want, but your delusions do not change the fact that my experience in this situation outweighs yours. I turn toward Alpha Bo. You are right. They were working together, in a way that suggests they trained together, no different than any of our warriors. 3 attacked, while 2 hung back to observe. The second 2 engaged when Oscar, Mina, and I were all injured in some way and separated. They knew what they were doing. I know I am not a full warrior yet, so I probably won't get to hear these answers, but they need to be asked anyway. How did they get within a 10-minute drive of the castle? I'm sure that you have people working on that, but there is no way 5 of them got past that many border patrols undetected unless they had some way to mask their scent and hide their trails. I looked to Alpha Reggie, hoping he could read my mind. It's the same as the attack on my pack. No scent, no trail to follow. The only difference is we actually got to fight someone this time. And I don't think the rogues were expecting us. Are there evacuation plans? Based on reactions and observations. This is not the first time any of you have seen something like this. I look at each alpha. They all seem to be trying to hide the shame at being called out. We are all being attacked, but why? You're right. Alpha Emmanuel speaks directly to me for the first time. You won't be hearing any of these answers, child. Now that you have given your account, you may leave and let us strategize. I roll my eyes and look at Alpha Reggie. I'm sure he can see the murder in my eyes, but if he wants me to go so these idiots will actually get something done, I will. It's about the greater good and benefit of the pack members, not my ego. This jackassy will get his, and I hope I at least get a few good hits in before that happens. Alpha Reggie nods his head, understanding surging from his eyes. At least he gets that I just want to help. Skylar, just a few more questions. Did you send anyone before the attack? No, sir, and I was downwind. I was the first to be attacked, so I should have had some level of warning. He knows of my strong and kind of unique sense of smell. That is one thing that has been bothering me all day, too. I didn't scent them at all. Did any of them say anything to you? Was there a threat issued? No, nothing. They just growled and attacked. I'm not sure if that was because they didn't expect us and acted on impulse, or if they were the front line of the attack, and the people with threats or something to say were in the shadows watching somewhere. And this is why she is here. Alpha Reggie looks at Emmanuel. I can't even put his title in front of his name in my head. He doesn't deserve it. She brought up a point none of the rest of you even considered. I wasn't allowed to help with the patrols after. I look pointedly at Warrior Assistant, so I can't tell you if there were any other scents in the surrounding area, and if they were doing any kind of masking, it's probably gone by now, but I would be happy to do a sweep just in case. When we are done here, I think that would be a good idea. You can take a team and see what you find. In hindsight, we should just keep a healer with you at all times, so you can work through your injuries, since you seem to be in the line of fire most of the time. He smiles at me, and I just roll my eyes before returning it. So are we any closer to finding answers? It doesn't seem like anyone knows anything right now. Elder Bastion speaks up. As much as you praise this girl's abilities, She has yet to give us anything. And I'm back to seething. She actually gave us plenty, but only if you were paying attention. Her pack was attacked in a similar way, and with no scent trails leading in or out. The difference being the rogues did what they needed to do and got out. They didn't engage. The question still remains, were they supposed to engage here, or were they taken by surprise? The possibility of them trying to get closer to the castle is high, but we don't know the intended target. She also gave us a prisoner, which I will remind you, no one else accomplished. The second rogue we captured bled out before we got him to the hospital. Doc Gannon and Doc Sylvia said we can interrogate in about an hour. I nod my head with the rest of the friendly alphas and elders. The ones who are far too focused on me and my presence just sit there looking like stubborn, petulant children. Alpha Reggie turns to me. He doesn't whisper, but the conversation is clearly between the two of us, just not private. Skylar, I'm not ready to allow you to have the warrior brand yet. Don't look at me like that. You are still too young. But I do want you to be able to communicate with any of the warriors or us in an emergency. So I am going to make you an honorary pack member. This way you won't lose your connection to your own pack, but can communicate with members of the royal pack. I nod. It's better than nothing. I feel like it's a good compromise in front of the guys here who just think I should go home and let the boys do the work. Alpha Reggie stands, and Warrior Assistant moves behind me and places his hands on my shoulders, like I'm going to try and run away. Give me your right hand. Alpha Reggie instructs. Do you pledge your loyalty to the royal pack? Do you pledge to fight for the safety and rights of royal pack members while you are here? Will you come to our aid whenever you are called? Skylar McCain, you are being granted a special privilege in becoming an honorary member of the Royal Pack. Do your duty for Blue Crescent, your home pack. Keep your connections strong always, and know that you now have a second duty to the Royal Pack. Develop and maintain your strong connections here as well. Do you agree to these terms? He takes my hand and brings my wrist towards his mouth, where his fangs have extended. He punctures the skin just below my thumb on my wrist, and I can feel the connection immediately. It has been so long since I have heard extra voices other than my wolf in my head. It was almost overwhelming. I blink a few times to gain my bearings. How do you feel, little one? I imagine it has been quiet since you have been here. Yes, it has. Thank you for this. Alpha Reggie turns back to the group, but keeps talking to me through the mind link. You will stay at the castle again tonight. I am not convinced that you are not a target today. Now that formalities have been handled, we clearly have things to discuss. It has been a long day, and I'm sure everyone could do with some refreshments and rest. Let's reconvene in the morning and brainstorm strategies for all of our packs. The rogues are getting more bold by the day, and we will, hopefully, have answers from our guest in the dungeons too. I don't know how he was able to carry on the conversation with me over MindLink and with the group out loud. It was impressive. Osistin will see you to your room. Xander and Oscar want to check in on you, and Mina has also asked to see you. I will send Barty up with food for all of you, so you can dine in peace. Yes, sir. Osistin walks me to the elevators, and we move silently to my room once we are on the family floor. I don't know if his silence is comforting or imposing, but I do know that I am tired. I am tired of having to fight with these guys who think they are better than me because of my age, my gender, my size, and who knows what else they are judging me for. It will never go away, and I can keep my face at least passive in their presence. But it takes a lot of energy. Before I can even think any further on the topic, I am wrapped up in a hug and squeezed so tight I think a rib may have cracked. Xander's pine scent washes over me, and it takes me a second to respond. I just realized he wasn't down in the meeting with us. I'm glad you're all right. It was hard to watch you be taken away after all of that. I'm glad you were able to get to me in time. I think if they would have tried to double-team me, I would have been a goner. I really do need a ton of work. That was ridiculous. I have never been so out classes in my life. What are you talking about? You handled the whole thing really well. Oscar is trying to lift me up, but it feels like pity or a participation pep talk. I didn't even smell them come up behind us. There is no excuse for that. None of us scented them. That's not on you. He argues back. The problem is, I can scent everything even when others can't. There has only been one other time I couldn't catch a scent. I look right at Xander, hoping he understands. I need to have Mina work me over. I should have never gotten bit like that. Did I hear my name? Speak of the devil. Hey, are you okay? No one would tell me what was going on with you. Yeah, it really wasn't that bad, but that little bee-teach had something on his claws, so I wouldn't stop bleeding, and I had little slashes everywhere. It took both Doc Gannon and Doc Sylvia hours to figure it out. And of course they had to take 1,000,000 samples to study. We all laugh. I'm learning I'm not the only guinea pig when it comes to the docs. They are fascinated by everything. We head into my room and I fill everyone in on what happened at the meeting, which wasn't much on my end. But Xander looked more and more angry as I told him how some of the alphas behaved and reacted. Something is going on. Several of them have been questioning my dad more and more lately. I've never heard of anyone questioning the king, ever. Why are they starting now? It's clear they think that their opinions are important and carry more weight than they probably do. Are they trying to shift towards a democracy? Or maybe a type of monarchy that is actually run by them with a king to throw to the wolves when something goes wrong? I am just thinking out loud, not really paying attention to what I'm saying. I don't think that you're far off, actually. With the constant meetings and forced mate stuff, they are definitely aiming for some kind of control. I just don't know why the shift now. Before we get any further in the conversation, there's a knock at the door. I just shout for them to come in and Xander, Oscar and Mina all look at me like I have lost my mind. What? No one gets on this floor. I know food is coming for us. We should take bets as to who's delivering. I think it's Barty, and he has probably been with our food for the whole preparation and delivery. I roll my eyes as I get up and head to the door, because whoever is on the other side must think along the same lines as the rest of my friends, since no one came in. I don't wait for a response as I slowly open the door. Oh, Barty, what a surprise to see you delivering our food, I say loud and mockingly, giving him a wink so he knows the sarcasm is not directed at him in any way. He just got caught in the crossfire. Hey, settle down. At this point, we only know there is a threat, and it's close. No one has a clue who or why right now, so everyone is a suspect. Mina chides me with a smile. I stick my tongue out at her in response. So what do we know? I ask as Barty closes the door and wheels the tray over to the sitting area. This attack doesn't seem like a surprise to you or your dad, Xander, but the rest of the alphas had their panties in a wad. Your dad also mentioned hypotheticals when you guys were at Blue Crescent. This isn't the first attack, is it? I don't even hide my curiosity, and Mina jumps on the question wagon with me. We talk into the night and don't even notice how much time has passed until Assistant comes into my room, unannounced, telling the guys to head to Xnader's room and Mina and I to stay in mine. It doesn't escape my notice that we are being kept in pairs. It's 1 a.m. You all need your sleep after the events of today. Mina, you will be traveling with Skylar to the warrior camp, rooming and sharing a schedule since you are both still attending school. We will leave right after breakfast, 8 a.m. sharp. Do not be late, any of you. Mina, things are being packed for you and your training gear will be provided. None of you are to travel alone, anywhere, including the bathroom, showers, everything. We don't know the nature of the attack or the reason behind it. All of you are important people, so any of you could have been the target. So are we under guard then? Mina asks. In a manner of speaking, yes. We aren't advertising what is going on, but you all are to keep track of each other. For obvious reasons, we are keeping Xander and Oscar together, which leaves the two of you. But that works in our favor in several ways. Wait, what's obvious about Xander and Oscar? Mina cuts him off, and I flinch a little at the look that crosses his face from the interruption. We're mates, Mina, Xander says confidently, and her eyes go wide. How does that work exactly? Being the prince and heir and needing to continue your family line and all that? We haven't found our female mate yet. We know we have one, but that's all we know. Oscar steps closer to Xander and laces their fingers together. The show of support is sweet, and I get the feeling they will get that question a lot. If people find out about them before they understand Xander has two mates, and they are not looking forward to it. Mina doesn't even question it past that, though. She just takes in the info, nods, and moves on with her questioning. So how does this work in our favor then? She points between the two of us. Before you interrupted, I was about to explain. Osistin deadpans and then moves on like it never happened. Skylar has had a lot of attention surrounding her arrival here. We don't discuss it. Really, it's no one's business, and I will not be questioned anymore. But your presence will help, since it will be, on the surface, identical to her arrival. You have a late start and need to finish school while you are training. You will transfer to all of Skylar's classes. She will get you caught up on everything. He holds his hand up. Before you interrupt, she is taking higher level classes than you are, so you will step up. Now all of you go to bed. Set alarms. Anything that happened today is not to be discussed outside of your group or outside this castle. Literally. Go. He isn't angry, but the tone in his voice has even Xander moving more quickly. I get Mina a pair of the silky soft pajamas Luna Ann gave me, and we both settle side by side in my bed. It makes me think of my time with Sierra, and a pang of guilt washes through me. I haven't even seen her since the last time I was in school. She's my best friend, and I have barely thought about her in the last couple days. I have so much to tell her and so much I have to keep quiet. I've never had a friend like that before, and I feel terrible at just the thought of keeping something from her. What? Your whole face kind of went soft and pouty? Mina asks, her voice softer than I've heard it at all today. Nothing. I was just thinking about my best friend. I tell her everything, like everything, and I have to keep so much from her. I feel bad since I only get to see her at school, and we don't have any classes together here, so lunch is the only time we can talk at all. How do you already have a best friend here? Didn't you just get here? Yeah, I did. But Sierra came to my pack to stay with her aunt and uncle last year, and we got close. She came back home, and then I was brought to the elite training. But it has been hard. For the first time, I am sad about being here. I don't regret it at all, and I love that I get to do this. But now I have people to miss, and maybe missing out on things normal teens do during the summer. I never thought about what I wouldn't be doing when I was here. It's a strange revelation. Are you talking about Doc Sylvia's Sierra? I nod. Oh, girl. No worries there. She probably knows everything anyway. She's got this weird way of getting people to spill their guts without even trying. Mina starts to laugh, and I join in. It's true. I know her. We've had a few classes together over the years. If she's your best friend, I wouldn't worry about it. She won't let your friendship go without a fight. You could be on your deathbed, and she would negotiate more time with the moon goddess if she thought you needed it. I smile at the thought. I can't wait for all of us to hang out a bit tomorrow. We get to start classes right away. Although I don't know why we are going to start so late. If we are eating breakfast at 8, we will for sure miss the first 2 periods. That seems strange. Who knows? Warrior Brogan has like 10 plans running through his head at all times, and I bet each of those has 2 backup plans. She laughs again. But let's get to sleep, 'cause he seems to have a soft spot for you. But he will publicly humiliate me and Oscar, and probably Xander too, if we are late. October/November 5 months later. Again! I shout, picking my sorry ass up off the ground. Mina and Lillian both come at me with pure hatred in their eyes. We've been at this for hours, but I can't seem to figure out how to get through the two of them. We have progressed through training to the point where we are each given secret instructions by a leader, and we have to follow through with our objective, while also trying to figure out and stop our opponent, or in my case opponents, from completing their task. I moved on to multiple opponents a few weeks ago, when I was able to subdue warrior Nicholas and complete my task. I'm not the only one, but I was the first. Ever since the attack at the beginning of the summer, I have been more focused on training. I never want to be the weak link again. I could have died because I wasn't paying attention, just hanging out with my friends. Lil and Mina won't let me just hole up in my room or the study room when we aren't training, much to my annoyance at first. It was so bad at one point that they got permission to bring Sierra to the compound to talk me out of acting stupid. I say talk loosely, because she dragged me outside and proceeded to kick my ass until I pulled my head out and started fighting back. Then she brought the other girls in, and it was 3-on-1. We spared until we were all on the ground laughing, and Sierra reminded me that I needed this too. I need friends and to relax, so when I do fight, my head is fresh and clear. Seriously? I don't think I have a body part that doesn't hurt right now. Lil whines at me. You do realize that training ended an hour ago, right? And we have been doing this exercise for 4 hours. Mina chimes in. They are trying to distract me so they can either get past me to just get a break. I'm thinking it's the latter. I want to figure this out. I say a bit whiny to my own ears. I don't like leaving things unfinished. And besides, if we are in a fight like this, our attacker isn't going to give us a break, no matter how long we've been fighting. We don't have to leave this unfinished, just on pause. We both have homework and we all need to eat. There is no point in getting injured in training because you don't know when to stop. We also have to meet with Warrior Brogan and Warrior Nicholas in 20 minutes. You know they will both be pissed if we are late, even if it was to complete this crazy-ass battle assignment. Mina says, looking at her phone. I hadn't even noticed she walked away from us. Fine, I grumble as I walk over to where our stuff is. Let's go shower and change. Then we can grab something to eat on the way to their offices. We were ready in record time and arrived at the building that housed all of our trainers. I discovered it a few weeks after getting here. It's set on the opposite side of the obstacle training grounds, so you would never see it unless you are like me and need to understand your surroundings completely. Which means being nosy and wandering around getting a lay of the land. On the outside, it looks the same as our building, modern white and black and very grand. The inside is all dark wood and cabin feeling. It is so much more homey than the utilitarian style we have. But that does make sense, since most of these trainers live here full-time, unless they are on assignment. We walk into the entryway and ring the bell, signaling our arrival. No trainee is allowed past this room without an escort. It's the one way they keep a solid line between their personal and professional lives. Warrior Nicholas walks out a few minutes later, just nods his head to follow, turns and walks back down the hall he came from. We enter a meeting room with a large oval table in the center, and at least a dozen chairs surrounding it. There isn't much for decoration, but there is a screen on one far wall and a projector that hangs from the ceiling. Other walls are covered in large bulletin boards and whiteboards. This must be a strategy room for bigger missions. Sit, please. I look up, and Alpha Reggie is sitting at the end of the table furthest from the door. We have several things to discuss, and I am on a time limit. We both nod and sit opposite warriors Nicholas and Assistin. Alpha Reggie usually isn't this curt with me, so something must be really wrong. You both have excelled far better than we could have expected out of such young wolves. But as it is, you are now being considered for a future mission. My ears perk up and I sit a little straighter at this revelation. I didn't expect to go on any kind of mission until I was at least 18. Alpha Reggie takes a deep breath before he continues. It feels like he is being forced to say whatever is about to come out of his mouth. This mission is recon only. Another deep breath. But you both fit a demographic that will allow you to get closer and possibly gain information that my warriors have yet to obtain. He looks at the warriors across from me with irritation oozing off of him. Neither of them shift or acknowledge the barb. With the more frequent and bold attacks, we can now assume that the royal family is the target. Trying to weaken our defenses by having our warriors continually injured or overtired from fighting. Setting the rest of our pack and surrounding packs against us, by making it appear like we cannot do something as simple as protect our borders. I think the hope is to wear us down for a less defended final attack. He takes another deep breath and rubs his eyes like he is already tired. Warrior Assistant speaks up, finishing the thought. We know it is the rogue king trying to take the king's place. We know that he has pockets of rogues stationed throughout the kingdom. Our biggest issue is we can't seem to find them. None of them have a scent to follow, and there doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason to the attacks. They are using chaos to hide what they are really up to, and so far it's working. What does that have to do with us? I ask. What demographic do we fill that can get you information? Mina follows right up. They have started taking girls around your age. Alpha Reggie looks right at me, and I can feel my face go pale and cold. No way. He just nods his head. We have been avoiding this for a while, and I have tried to keep you out of it. But it's time. We need to know what he is doing and figure out how to stop him. Wait, what just happened? I don't understand. Mina is looking between me and Alpha Reggie. Having the both of you on the team allows us more access. We all look like warriors on a mission while we walk around in our everyday lives. The two of you blend into crowds better. Fitting the demographic allows you both to ask questions about what is going on without raising suspicion. You can both play concerned girls trying to stay safe and trying to understand what's happening. Nicholas continues. Any recon we do has to be done in the shadows, in the background, while the two of you could stroll down the street talking to whoever walks by. We are at a standstill and we need to figure out where these guys are hiding. Mina and I look at each other. I know I am trying to contain my excitement. By the look on her face, she is too. So what does that mean for us? What are we doing exactly? Mina asks. You will start training with our recon team. We have a very specific way that we gain and relay information. We need to make sure that you are able to work within our formations and understand all of our calls and codes. Nicholas looks serious, letting us know that he's on board with this, but wary at the same time. We also need to get you branded. Alpha Reggie begins. It's for your safety and our peace of mind. The elders voted no last night when we proposed it, but we will approach them again. Now that we have solid proof that female wolves are being stalked and taken, it's less of a choice as it is a duty now. These untrained, unwilling girls are being taken, and we don't know for what purpose. But you both need the brand so we can track you if something goes wrong. And when it comes to the rogue king, we expect it to go sideways. Nicholas mutters loud enough to be heard by all of us. A flutter rushes through my stomach at the thought. But I don't think it's fear. Is it crazy that the thought of being captured excites me a little? What does that say about me? Oh, goddess. I am nuts, but I don't feel bad about it at all. Can we start training with the team even if we aren't branded, while you are trying to convince the elders to allow our brands? Mina asks. I was too far ahead of the game in my mind. We need to start first. I think that would be wise. The elders will be brought to reason, but we can't delay. They could move at any time and we need to get into one of their locations. Osistin says, you will no longer be doing your regular daily training. You will both join our team for overnight training beginning today. Your school schedule will remain the same, and we expect you to keep up your work. But you will not be required to do evening training, so you can rest before joining the team again. The team's mission and your roles in it are classified. We both nod when he doesn't continue. Report to the front of the dorms tonight at 8 p.m. We will take you to the team from there. Make sure you eat before you go. There will be no other time for that once training begins, Nicholas says in that serious voice again. I've never heard him like that in our other training sessions. But maybe it's because this is real, not training or a demo. Once we know more about the branding, we will let you know. We both nod again. You may go. Alpha Reggie dismisses us. We both stand quickly and move towards the door. As soon as we're across the threshold, they all begin speaking and not really all that quiet. We are setting them up. Why would we do that? Nicholas's voice carries. I agree, they don't belong on this mission. But we have no other choice. We know what he's after now. Osistan's voice answers, clearly bored with this line of thinking. So we're just going to give them what they are looking for on a silver platter? Nicholas barks back. The door closes before I get the chance to hear any more of the conversation. Nicholas clearly doesn't want us on this mission. I thought we got along. We're even becoming friendly isn't the right word. But maybe we have a mutual respect. But I guess we aren't ready enough for him yet. Which makes me angry and has me worried all at the same time. I bust my ass in training. I know how to fight and defend myself against all of the best warriors here. I'm getting better at the submission game we have been playing. But if he's worried we aren't ready, then maybe we are missing something. He spends the most time with us during training sessions and knows our skills well. He doesn't seem like the type to hold anyone back. But we are different being younger than everyone. In my case, a lot younger. We head back to the dorms and our shared room. I was so excited when I was told we were going to be roommates. Audrina, of course, was pissed. I think mostly because we were moved to the guy's side of the hallway into the floor leader's suite. Wyatt gave up the suite and moved next door to an empty room, happily. We have our own bathroom, which is helpful with our schedule, and the space is big enough for our twin beds and 2 desks. We aren't here enough to need to lounge or anything, just the basics. We share the closet too, but since everything is uniform, there isn't a lot to it. No one knows why we have this set up. It's never been done before. But we are working the too young to actually be here angle, and that it's more efficient for school. Since she has been here and attached to my hip, Audrina and her friends haven't even tried to mess with me. I don't know if it's the commanding aura she gives off, the fact that we are never apart long enough to be cornered, or that together we have beaten every single person or team we have come up against, but I'm not complaining. Overall training has gotten better without the constant undermining. I feel like I have finally started to settle here, and this is where I am truly meant to be. The only thing I miss is my brother and the guys. I haven't had a chance to write back to them. I feel like everything has picked up pace since the attack. Trainings are more grueling. School has gotten into full swing, and Mina needs help since joining all of my classes. She decided that my class schedule should be used as cruel and unusual punishment. And we haven't seen Xander or Oscar since the attack. Barty stopped by and told me there is a family dinner happening soon, and Mina and I are to attend, which will be a nice treat. So what do you think all of that was back there after we left? Mina turns to me after shutting and locking our door. Another thing we both do out of self-preservation. Our door is locked, no matter if we are here or not. We have to assume the attacks are being assisted by someone. Nothing has happened here on the compound grounds yet, but we can't get complacent. It's what got us both injured in the first place. I sit cross-legged on my bed after kicking off my shoes. I don't know, but it sounds like Warrior Nicholas really doesn't want us on this mission. I wish he would say why, though. Maybe if there is some training we haven't completed yet, we could get on that. It's not like they have us on a normal track anyway. I think he is worried about something. I didn't get the feeling it was us, though. More like he's worried for us, not about us being there. They are taking girls. Maybe he's worried about sending you into the lion's den with your royal blood and all that. She gives me a shove and a smile. If they were worried about that at all, I wouldn't even be here. There's no point in training me to be an elite warrior and then lock me in a tower for the rest of my life. I shrug her off. Who knows? Maybe he's tired of all the double standards when it comes to us. I mean, I was told that I would be training with the warriors, like the warriors, and to expect the extra school and work stuff to be a secondary priority, but still a big deal. But when I think about it, I have been given every pass that is possible to have. I miss trainings to do things at the castle. I guess it counts as training when I'm learning and training with Alpha Reggie. I also had that whole Elders Weekend thing with all of the outfits and dresses and changes to my schedule then. My classroom teachers don't even blink now if a warrior comes in to deliver a message to me. I roll my eyes. That's how it is for any of the royals, though, and I hate to break it to you, but you are a royal whether you like it or not. She pats me on the head like a toddler. I shove her off and over to her own bed. Well, look at it this way. At least now we can see how they do research and recon. I have always been curious about the planning rooms. It's so mysterious. She's tapping her steepled fingers to her chin like a cartoon villain. I want to know what they do to plan everything. I have to admit, I'm excited too. This is what I have been dreaming about ever since I found out about the elite warriors. Working in the shadows, no one really knows who you are. It's not about the glory for them. Well, most of them, I think, as Audrina's face pops into my head. They are the ones who take care of the really hard stuff and never get any public recognition. They make pack life better, and most don't even realize it. We better get the homework done then, and maybe a nap if we're going to be up all night. I move towards my books. Double-I? Mina whines. We are like 2 weeks ahead on everything. I hate your classes. Have I ever told you that? I laugh. Maybe once or twice. But we don't know what this new training is going to do to us. If we can't stay ahead, it's going to be a bigger pain in the ass. Trust me. Let's get this out of the way, and then we can actually focus for the next week on training. Ugh, I hate it when you make sense. She moves for her backpack. At least most of the classes are starting to make sense. Math might kill me, though. I may just have you take the test for me, so the professor doesn't have to wait a week for me to finish it. We both start to giggle. For the next 2 hours, we work through everything that we can. Mina asks for help every now and then, but mostly we just work in comfortable silence. By 6 p.m., we are starving, and as far as we can go with all of our subjects, so we head downstairs to see if we can grab food before one of the warriors picks us up for training. Stella and Jack must have been told what was going on in some form, because when we walked into the kitchen, 2 heaping plates were set aside with our names on them. I just smiled. Something about the way they take care of us feels like what Luna, Ava, and Alpha Lucas would do. Parents secretly caring for the kids that want to grow up, but doing it without hovering. We take our plates out to the dining room. While we're eating, Audrina, Bridget, and Chelsea walk by, laughing about something. They all stop at the same time. It's almost like they share a brain. Now that I think about it, maybe they do since they have all been branded. Maybe they were talking over the shared link and somehow knew to stop together. I don't know. What the hell? Chelsea asks. Since when do we get to eat in the middle of training? And where's the spread? Bridget says, looking around like maybe she could get in on the action. We have orders and need to eat earlier than usual. Mina keeps her tone level and reasonable. She really is so much more calm when dealing with people. The way she acts out in public, you would never know her real age. The way she whines about homework is another matter altogether. That's just code for the spoiled princess gets whatever she wants. Audrina snarks, but the cold stare of her eyes says she's not amused. We did extra training earlier, still met you this morning before the rest of the warriors are due to come out, and like I said, we have orders. We've done the time and then some. If you don't like our arrangement, you will need to take it to the warrior, who will be here to pick us up around 8. Mina stares them all down. For a Delta, her presence is strong. The difference is, she doesn't use it to make people bow down to her, more as a pressure to help them understand she's serious and rethink certain actions or thoughts. Whatever. You two are so lazy just hanging out here in the compound while the rest of us actually work. You'll never get called up if you can even manage to graduate. Audrina shrugs and starts to walk away. Neither of us respond. It's not worth mentioning again that we train more than she does with all the extra thought I force my friends to put in and whatever harebrained thing she has us do every morning, trying to wear us down so we make a mistake in front of the lead warriors. It has actually become a part of our routine that we plan for each day. She's so jealous of you, it's kind of disturbing, Mina says, around a mouthful of food. What are you talking about? I don't think it's me she's jealous of. You walked in here like you owned the place and then owned the sparring mat your first night. I think I might still have a couple bruises left over. I laugh at her. Shut up. We both know you healed in like 5 minutes. I'm a warrior. My presence is supposed to be known. You came in unknown. No one knew you or had heard of you. You're this tiny little snack-sized person. I cut her off with a laugh. What? One of my friends nicknamed me Bite Size? That eventually got shortened to Biddy. Actually, all my friends had some stupid small nickname for me. I laughed, thinking about the way that all started, then sighed. I miss them. Was he special? She asked, with a funny look on her face. They were all special and stubborn and overbearing and wonderful, and I miss them. How many hearts did you break when you left? Wait, what? Breaking hearts? What are you talking about? That look in your eyes tells me Mr. Biddy was more than just a friend to you. He was special. But you just said How many boyfriends did you have back home? And how did you handle all of them? I had one boyfriend once, and he was enough guy to handle. I can't imagine having more than one. She fans herself. WHAT? No. I didn't have a boyfriend. I've never had one. My voice is getting high and kind of raspy, and I can't control it. So, you're telling me that you had guy friends and did nothing with any of them? No dating, kissing, hand-holding, anything? Sometimes they would hold my hand, especially when the trials were going on. It helped to calm my nerves, and they all used to kiss me on the cheek or forehead. Things like that. But no, I didn't date any of them. So they were all touchy-feely with you, but you did nothing back. Girl, you missed all the signs. She's laughing now. Huh? You make no sense. There were no signs. These are my brother's friends. They are all like extensions of that. They are just overprotective. I roll my eyes. You keep telling yourself that. She laughs again. You may have missed your chance to have all your firsts with a future Gamma, Delta, and Alphas. I bet they have plenty of experience for you. She winks. Back to Audrina, though. She's jealous that you came in and took her place as the favorite. Although I think being the favorite was all in her head. From what I hear, most people didn't like to work with her because of her superiority complex. She tears people down and makes them, instead of giving constructive criticism to work on and get better like you do. I still think you're crazy. There's nothing to be jealous of. I'm just me. I just want to fight. Nothing spectacular. We'll agree to disagree. I'm not arguing with you about this. It's almost time. Do you think we should grab anything? We're going overnight, but didn't get a whole lot of information. I guess I might bring a sweatshirt to have a layer if they make us shift on the fly. I wish someone would teach me the whole shift and keep your clothes thing, I say as we take our things back to the kitchen. We both run upstairs to grab an extra layer and then sit and wait in the foyer. Neither of us talk or discuss anything. I know we are both nervous and excited all at the same time. But one of the best things about Mina is she doesn't need to fill the silence with noise or talking. We are both just here, together, and that's all that is needed for comfort at this point. At 8 on the dot, the door opens with Warrior Nicholas' wide, imposing frame filling the doorway, but not stepping in. His light hair and blue eyes normally leave him looking, not inviting, but not scary. But just like at the meeting, his gaze is hard and judgmental. He was forced to collect us, and he is openly not happy about it. He does not want us or me on this mission, and my heart falls a little more. Those old feelings of not being wanted, not being good enough from my dad creeping back in. I have to mentally shake it off. I can't go back to being that girl again. She was abused and neglected, and everything that I have worked for is to make sure no one feels like that ever, including myself. Do I confront him? Say anything? Or just live with this? Pretend like it isn't the elephant in the room and hope for the best? At least Mina is with me. We'll just truck through this recon mission, and I will keep my eye on the goal, to gain experience and knowledge about mission protocols. Nothing else matters. Not him and his feelings. Audrina, Kaylee, the guys, no one. I am here, living out my dream. That has to stay my focus. He turns from the door without a word and walks off. We hurry behind him, not wanting to be left behind. There's a black SUV parked out front with dark tinted windows. We both move to the back and climb in. No one is in the passenger seat, but neither of us want to be alone with Nicholas in whatever never-ending mood he seems to be stuck in. He looks in the rearview mirror from the driver's side, huffs a sound out of his nose, and then shifts his eyes back to the front before he starts to drive away. The windows are so dark that it's hard to see out in the last rays of light from the day. We are traveling away from the compound and the castle, and everything I have been to since being in this pack. The butterflies in my stomach are back and my senses are on fire waiting to be used. I have to fight the smile that really wants to spread on my face. A real mission where I get to use real skills. I sink back into the seat and just watch the forest fly by in blurred shadows and silhouettes, thinking about all the training I have ever gone through. All the skill-building games I did with the kids to hone isolated senses. One game I miss is hide and seek. My wolf and I loved that game so we could refine our sense of smell. The kids would mill about in a section of forest near the training grounds, leaving their scents behind, and one would hide when the rest came back to me, and I had to figure out who was missing, and then find them. We always had a great time. It taught them to start to use the forest around them to mask their scent, and as they got better, I had to improve my tracking skills to find them. We hit a bump in the road that brings me out of that happy memory. Hang on. The rest of the ride is going to be rough. We usually run out here. Nicholas' gruff voice carries back as we slow down slightly to accommodate the dips and bumps in the trail. Why not make us run then? I don't understand why we are being driven in if that isn't the norm. I don't mean to sound like a teenager, but frankly I am, and my anger at my situation. The way some of the trainers and some of the warriors view me and my position here, while better than when I started still, isn't the best. And it's pissing me off. But I can't blame them either. When I'm supposed to be doing the same things as everyone else, told what to expect, but not a minute later, someone is trying to intervene and make something more comfortable and change the directive we were all given. But the change is only for me. It's bullshit and I'm over it. I don't understand the motive here. Do you and the mission team think we're too weak to do this and want to prove that by making us take a car? You clearly don't want us here. Audrina and her idiot cronies think that I'm sleeping with all of you to keep my place here, thanks to the perceived special treatment. Even though all of you have a brand that should make that physically impossible. I just wish someone would explain what the hell is going on already, and give me real expectations. I rub my face and take a deep breath to try and calm down. If I'm not ready or if you think I should go home, then send me home. Do you want to leave? His voice sounds too hopeful. I scowl at him in the rear view. Of course not. Now both me and my wolf are irritated, which is not a good combination. That truly is a stupid question and shows you know nothing about me at all. This is the one thing I have worked for. The only thing I have ever wanted for myself. The one thing that I chose with no outside influence. The one thing I am good at. I need to be here, but that doesn't mean I have to be here now if my age or inexperience or whatever the hell is going on is a problem. I'm here to get better, not ruin everyone's chances by being a distraction. I finish by rolling my eyes and look out the window at nothing now that the darkness has fully taken over in the 45-minute drive. Mina is tense next to me. She knows a little of what has gone on with me, but I try to keep what happened in my past, back home, tucked away in a tight little corner of my mind. I am here now, away from all of that sh-t, and I really want it to stay that way. But I can't seem to get people to see past my physical presence. My age and my size will always be a problem, no matter what I do. I get that now. I just have to continue to be more. I have to work more, study more, prepare more, show up more. It's the only thing I can control. I hope when I get my brand, some of the emotions surrounding these thoughts are tamped down, 'cause I am so tired of the emotional roller coaster. Nicholas growls in his chest. Good. At least he feels some of the irritation that I do. You have to understand. All the trainers are aware of you and your affiliation with the Alpha King. Oh, hell no. I cut him off. I'm going to stop you right there. I raise my hand up. You don't give Xander the same porcelain doll treatment, and he's the next in line to be king. So rethink your argument. He grunts again. You're right. I don't want you on this mission. I have a bad feeling about it. I have since we started it. I can't explain it, so I'm not going to try since you have a death wish anyway. He just leaves it at that answer. Finish the drive in silence. I start to doze off, but can't quite find sleep. I have no idea how long we have been driving at this point, but my butt is numb, even in these cushy leather seats. Mina is out like a light next to me, but I can't seem to get Nicola's words out of my head. I have a bad feeling about this mission. I have since it started. I know that I trust my wolf's instincts. Osistin is the same way. I know we train so hard to get better and be reliable, but out in the real world, trusting your gut can sometimes mean the difference between coming home alive or dying on the battlefield. If his gut says this whole thing is going to go wrong, it probably will, and we need to be ready for that. I know he's great at what he does. It's why he has been in and out of elite training since I have been here. He never misses a whole day, but he is constantly being pulled for information and insight. Osistin is the same. He's just scheduled with us only once a week. Maybe every other week, if he's on something important for Alpha Reggie. We finally pull to a stop near a few other SUVs that look exactly like this one. So at least we weren't the only ones who drove in. That would have been helpful information for my bad mood when we started this journey. I fight another eye roll. Mina stirs awake now that the constant hum of the car has stopped. We both stay silent, climbing out of the same side, staying as close together as possible. We follow Nicholas silently to a cluster of tents set up military camp style, literally in the middle of nowhere. Humina starts to ask a question, but Nicholas just shakes his head and looks at both of us, giving a silent instruction not to talk for now. We walk towards the largest tent and head in while Niklos holds the flap open for us. It is not what I expected at all. The outside looks just like a giant canvas tent you would see in an old war movie, but inside it looks like a computer nerd's wet dream. There are tables everywhere covered in computer screens. Some look like they are running themselves as words scroll down. Others are clearly camera feeds. There are only a couple of people here, though. There's no way the two of them monitor all of this. They seem to be watching buildings and sidewalks. but I don't recognize any of the locations from anything I've seen here on the Royal Packlands. But I haven't been very far either. I'm lost in thought, checking out all of the camera feeds, my brain trying to memorize notable landmarks, so I know where camera angles are when they finally send us out, when there's a tap on my shoulder. I look over, and Nicholas has a small smirk on his face. Then he rolls his eyes and tilts his head, wanting me to follow. It's the first sign of humor I've seen in a while from him, and at all today. We walk behind a row of computers and come to a stop. Nicholas reaches to a portable keypad nestled in the mess of cords on the table behind the computers, and punches in a quick code. It was too quick for me to get the whole thing, but it's 5 or 6 digits, and the first 3 are 769. As soon as the code is in, I hear a thunk and Nicholas reaches down to pull open a trapdoor, just sitting there in the ground. What? The hydraulic hinges make the 6-inch thick hunk of metal pull up like it weighs no more than a piece of paper? Nicholas ducks and starts walking down the metal steps, so we follow. As soon as we get to the bottom, he hits another button, and the trapdoor shuts with a small hiss, and we are plunged into darkness for a second. My breath catches. This is just like when Kaylee had her goons take me out to be whipped. I was pulled into that dark closet and had a bag thrown over my head. Instant darkness. I can feel my breathing pick up, and my heart is racing. I know this is different, but the panic is fighting to come out. My wolf is trying to calm me down too, but it sounds like she's trying to talk to me through water. I can't understand, and she's getting further away. Hey, Hey. Breathe, Midge. You have to get control, now. I feel a grip on my shoulders. They are strong and demanding, but they don't hurt me. Take a deep breath and open your eyes. The deep, gruff voice is softer now, with a hint of concern. What was that, Midge? I open my eyes and look at Nicholas, and he reminds me of Sam a bit when he's this close. I blink a few times and just shake my head. I'm good. I just wasn't expecting that. I try to step out of his reach, but he won't let me go, and he's bent down to get eye level with me. Have you talked to anyone? Professional, I mean, about what has happened to you? I look around for anything else to talk about. This is not what I want to discuss at all right now. You know we all have to go through evaluations after every mission, right? You're going to have to talk to someone to make sure that he points at the door. Doesn't happen on a mission. I close my eyes and nod. What else was I supposed to do? If it's required, it's required, and I will probably get benched from every mission from here on out. But I will not be sidelined yet. I look past him. Where to now, boss? When he says nothing, I look him dead in the eyes. So, that's how it's going to be, huh? You know I have to report that. He takes a deep breath and lets it out slowly, rubbing his hands over his face, then turns. Let's go. We walk in silence through the rest of the short hallway. It seems to be dark gray metal with I-beams reinforcing the walls and ceilings every 10 feet or so. I definitely get Batman vibes walking in the corridor. I don't know what to expect at this point, but I'm not sure if I'm more excited or afraid of spy gadgets popping up out of the ground like in the movies. I really need to not let my imagination run away with me, but it's hard with no information to work with, and Nicholas still isn't talking to us, just silently walking. Nicholas takes us through a heavy metal door that has one handle on the outside, but several levers and handles on the inside. This place was meant to keep people out. We walk into a room that is still the drab gray metal, but there is a dim blue light illuminating the whole space. It seems to be coming from the additional screens, but also the walls too. Here, Nicholas points us to a table where Osistin and 3 other warriors are sitting. I recognize all of them from our sparring classes, but none of them are ever there consistently. I guess this would be why. They are on a mission, no longer needing training, but attending to either stay in shape or to help with new recruits. Thank you for joining us, ladies. I'm hoping that your involvement will make this mission go a bit more quickly. We've been on this for a long time and have lost too many to the cause. It needs to end sooner rather than later. And now innocence is being taken that we cannot allow. The older of the two guys I only recognize by face. He's starting to gray around the ears, and he has lines around his eyes from either squinting or smiling a lot. The rest of his dark hair is cut very short on the sides and back and only long enough to comb back on top. His build is average for most of the warriors I know. About 6 feet tall, and probably has to walk through a standard door sideways because of his shoulder width. In this light, I can't tell what color his eyes are, but they are dark and soulful, like he could see right through you. So we're just going to throw innocence right at them then? Nicholas asks next to me. We have heard from your point of view on this enough, Nicholas. They have agreed to help, and the decision stands. They agreed without all of the information. They are too young and eager to prove themselves. Of course, they agreed. Catching on the same time I did, Mina speaks up. They are standing right here, and clearly this isn't as formal as when we were asked to join this mission. You all might as well lay it out there. It is obvious that this mission is dangerous. That was made clear enough when we were voluntold to join this group. Might as well get out whatever it is that you have a problem with, Warrior Nicholas, since you seem to be the only one to voice a negative to us being here. She looks right at him, but my eyes are on Assistant, who seems to be just as agitated as Nicholas. You are being set up and used as bait. Everyone who is for this bullshit plan is hoping that since both of you excel at fighting and have outmaneuvered everyone in this room on your own, and as a team, that you will be able to get yourselves out of trouble when, not if, but when an attempt to kidnap you happens. There are too many variables that we can't account for. Too much risk to your lives and those that will step in to help you. I take a deep breath. It's basically what we thought. They have a lot of faith in our skills, even though they have never been used in an actual battle situation. On that, I agree with Nicholas. There are too many variables to think about. Too many things that are out of our control. That's not a plan. I don't expect anything foolproof. There's no such thing. But having some kind of backup plan would be nice. But I don't think we even really have a plan to make a backup for. I rub my eyes with both hands. So what's the plan for tonight? We clearly aren't going to be the bait now. What can we do to make this suck less? I look around the room. What are we looking for? What is the recon? How can we prepare for being taken? Since that seems to be the end goal, right? For one or both of us to get taken so we can be tracked to wherever they are holding these girls. How are you so calm about this? No one should be okay with dangling pups, children, minors, whatever you want to be classified as, a treat for the bad guys to just come and get. Nicholas sounds offended at my questions. I roll my eyes. Human punching bag, remember? This is right up my alley. I am the scapegoat, the target, and I have been my entire minorhood. So let's not act like being young should play a part here. The only effect it has is that the bad guys, I air quote, will more than likely underestimate us because of it. You are a fucking royal. His voice is progressively getting louder, but no one moves to calm him down. We would never send Xander out because of that fact alone. I'm not high enough on the bracket for that to be a factor either. And everyone knows Xander. He can't be sent into any type of undercover situation. No one knows me. I am just another girl on the street. I am also the right gender for the task. Why I am negotiating with him while the rest of these guys just watch is beyond me. I'm not fighting for my spot as a sacrificial lamb. But I also understand the value we both have in this mission. Can we please just get to the recon stuff, since I don't think the bait part of this plan is the same as the info gathering? I look at him with pleading eyes. He needs to let this go for now. What type of info are we looking for, and how are we? I point between Mina and myself. Going to help you get it. Nicholas huffs and just stands there for a second, like he's lost in thought. He eventually pulls out chairs for us and takes a seat next to me. This is what we know so far. George starts talking point to several photos in front of us, and flipping between 3 aerial shots of a forest. There is so much information and yet nothing to work with. They know that the rogues are coming in and out of Canada. It appears that most of the traffic is coming from the northeast, which would make sense since they can use the Atlantic Ocean as a means of travel with very little issue. It is assumed that Nova Scotia is where the Rogue King has been operating from, but no one has proof. No one even knows who the Rogue King is or what he looks like. He's a phantom. The best trackers that the elite warriors have followed the trails of a couple girls as far as Bangor, but lost the scent after that in a more populated area. An area that is mostly humans, which could be a problem. They followed the river north and noticed they also went past the University of Maine, which is mostly human, but wolves attend too, depending on what they want to study. It's also a great place to grab innocent girls only slightly older than Mina. The problem is the scent trail just disappears. Even with methodical investigation, by the best of the best trackers in all directions. It just doesn't make any sense. And there doesn't seem to be a pattern to the girls taken, other than the ones that they were able to track for a small amount of time were wolves. There has to be something else going on. No scent just stops and vanishes into thin air.